Disability Pride Night.
All right, it is Tuesday, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And we are broadcasting live to tape, not from our Game Day Men's Health Studios in downtown Dallas. Can you still get 10% off TRT for life with Game Day Men's Health if you mention the Dumb Zone, or did they discontinue that?
Offer was still good when I went this morning.
Oh, you did?
I did. I did not make it in yesterday afternoon, but I went in there this morning, showed Liz my buns, got 10% off.
And we're going in tomorrow for a little filming, right?
We are.
Or are we not allowed to say that? Is that a secret mission? I texted with Dave this morning about peptides. What is peptide?
The future.
Anyway, where we are, not the Game Day Men's Health Studio. We're in Frisco. And we're at Whataburger in Frisco. Now, what you need to know is Frisco, big place.
Very.
And there's more than one Whataburger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not just that there's more than one Whataburger.
Well, you don't have to get defensive yet. But this is a good day for you. And I'm going to explain why in a
Listen,
moment.
I already know what you're going to tell me. You're going to talk to me like you're my dad and say, oh, the guy who doesn't think you have to get the address and just puts it in his phone.
Oh, no. What I was going to say is, you've talked before about, because I'll be like, boy, prehab Jake would have done this, and this. And you were like, actually, I'm kind of a fuck up, or I'm right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, when Jake calls me this morning and he's like, oh, I'm at this other Whataburger, I'm going to be like 10 minutes late. And I was thinking, this is prehab Jake. Do you remember that, Blake? Do you remember, I can't find like this really obvious place that we've promoted for weeks, that we've said the address, we've said El Dorado and the Tollway. El Dorado and the Tollway.
It is important to note the other Whataburger is on El Dorado, but that second part.
But the tollway's right there.
I don't know. But the
like you had to come up the
point
tollway. Did you drive El Dorado, circumnavigate El Dorado to get
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention, man. I'm an airhead. But
that's what I'm saying.
These people made it here.
So what I'm saying is, this is not really a compliment for you. It's more of a compliment for prehab Jake. Like, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. I thought it was just you being a.
Let's cut the bull. This is the best day of my life. Straight up. This is at least the best moment of my life. Walking in the door here at the Whataburger at the Tollway in El Dorado.
He got a big applause.
It was insane.
Jake got a standing ovation.
And I think
I walked in and like one guy came up and fist bumped me.
You want a live name rating?
And he's like, when's Jake going to be here? Huh?
I was going to give these people in line a live kid name rating.
She doesn't really seem into it.
She's there for him.
I did show up at the other Whataburger and was pretty concerned. There were 2 or 3 cars there, and it was 11:10.
Now we're concerned on the other way, where are we
Yeah.
going to run out of these things?
We're going to absolutely run out.
Uh-oh.
So what these things are is, and we'll get to our sports, and Blake promises comedy today. But we have the launch of the exclusive Whataburger / Dumb Zone collectible car tray. This all stems from... Well, I got an email a couple weeks ago from a guy, like a birthday email.
See you, Doc.
And the guy...
That guy's a doctor?
Yeah.
He's not allowed to be that tall.
It's
and
not
a doctor.
racist at all, but that guy knows Nima.
Like a Jill Biden doctor? Or?
No. They don't. Indians don't become fake doctors. That's pretty exclusively.
Oh, is that your kid's head doc?
No.
Nima,
Turns out there's a lot of them. I met my kid's head doc through
that was
Akash.
Akash. Sorry, not Nima. Damn, that might have been like racist, but probably not.
Well, we keep coming up doctors here. So.
I can't be racist.
So yes.
Jeremy emailed a few weeks ago about his birthday, and he said, "Oh yeah, my claim to fame is being the one to tell Jake about the car tray in a tweet from October 2017." So luckily, Jeremy tweets kind of like me, and it was very easy to scroll back and see his Twitter. And I put it out there today. Went and found it from 2017. Yeah, the original car tray tweet where he was. We must have been just talking about lunch.
Well,
On bad
I don't
radio
want to
and-
belabor this whole thing, but there was a weird deal where Bob was somehow saying that I claim I invented lunch. It was really weird. I don't even know how it started, but there was a time where I was in my car a lot. Like I was doing 3 or 4 jobs all over the Metroplex, and I was also dating my wife and at times trying to avoid eating her food at home. So I was eating a lot of fast food in my car, which is messy. I don't like sitting, personally, if I go to a Whataburger, I'm going to get the food and eat it in my car. I like to listen to my radio, my pace, my temperature. So this guy sends me this tray. I bought one for like $15 on Amazon. And I really honestly wish we could get the Amazon analytics, because there's probably been 500 of them purchased off the strength of Jeremy's tweet to me. Mm-hmm. And what it really is, the car tray is it's about a lifestyle, because we're all fast-paced. You're moving around. It's kind of like Whataburger. You know, you're on the go, but when it's time to slow down and appreciate the finer things in life, you need to be able to do that. I don't want to eat my Whataburger messily, in a hurry. I want to spread out my sides, my sauces, my accoutrement, and enjoy that moment that feels like home. Then the tray pops off, and I'm back out into the world. This is going to change people's lives.
So we fast forward then to 2025. Is that when we first met?
Hey, it's a lady.
Travis and the guys from Whataburger.
It might
anyway,
have been last year, but
well, we were in a meeting with them, and it was kind of a brainstorming thing, and they said maybe we'll have you guys out for, a remote or something, but maybe we could do something together. We could collab.
Lincoln Build.
This is what we're doing on Business Wednesday, folks. This was like a Wednesday, wasn't it?
Of course.
A Wednesday morning or lunchtime. And we met him at a Whataburger. Actually, it was on El Dorado.
It was, interestingly enough, yeah.
There's more than one of them, and it was not this one. And, yeah, that was your idea, of course, to say I could marry 2 of my loves here.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if we had a Whataburger car tray?
And all credit goes to Whataburger, because they love bits. And they said, well, do you have an item or a bit?
Yeah, something that would relate to your program.
I said,
We're
say
like,
less.
I don't know. A moose? And they're like, no, that probably wouldn't work. Yeah, moose ears.
A cease and desist letter branded with the Whataburger 75th anniversary logo.
All right, they do have pick up your keys. Please don't leave
Jesus,
your keys
Dad.
just lying there. You're going to lose them. Look
anyways,
at the bits
yeah.
they have. They have a Whataburger big giant.
That's like a turnover chain. If somebody makes a great point, they should get that.
All right, let's bring this to the studio.
Yeah, this appears to be
To the Game Day Men's Health Studio,
Yeah.
I should say. Yeah. And
But so, yeah, the people showed up big time. I see Travis from Community Mechanical here.
He's buying people lunch.
Multiple Collins
Oh,
with one
yes.
L.
Travis from Community Mechanical is here. And he is a brilliant marketer of Community Mechanical, our HVAC company, because he will glom onto our bits. And but he said he'll show up here, and if you're doing preventative maintenance with Community Mechanical, he'll buy you lunch.
Wow.
So he's not only like doing you a favor with making sure your house
Regular Jerry Jones over here.
has air conditioning, yeah, and it's not easy to miss Travis from Community Mechanical, because he's like the biggest guy here.
He is.
So look for the mountain when you walk in and ask him to buy you lunch.
What do you think
Demand he buys you lunch. Push him up against the wall.
What do you think the staff of Whataburger thinks of this? Just happy there's a rush, or are they confused? I feel like maybe they should get a tray.
The staff people should get a tray? Yeah, well, that's for Whataburger
Okay.
brass to worry about. You just have to worry about, our people here. So are all the trays gone? Oh, TC is nodding.
No.
I think we're trying to get more.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're locating some more. We've run through the first 75.
Why don't you just come over here and put a headset on rather than
Yeah,
I feel
Jasmine's
like I'm on.
don't say they're gone.
And she's like mouthing words. I'm like, what are we doing? This is
come
O'Reilly
on over
factor?
here. Come on over here.
Mike right there.
She'll say the wrong thing here.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, it's Jasmine.
Oh,
Jasmine,
no.
yeah.
Hi. Oh, hi.
We
My
all know
dreams have
Jasmine.
come true.
Or maybe Travis can help us. What's the story?
The story is we want you to come out and eat with you.
Yeah.
And hang and watch the show.
Okay. And
Yeah.
we may or may not have some more.
That's not the
card
answer I'm
tricks.
looking for at all. If we don't have them, we should tell people. It's all good.
Yeah.
But if we do, then
But we've
it's
given
gonna
away
be
the first
a while.
75.
People-
If we do have a few more, we can find them. But the point
You
is,
Second.
we want you to come on out to Whataburger at the Tollway. Very important, it's the Tollway
Yeah, get on the
in El
tollway.
Dorado. Jake went to the wrong one
Oh,
because he had a relapse.
is it?
Yeah.
He had a relapse.
He told me to start talking. So
Is there really a wrong Whataburger, though? They're all right.
No.
there is today. Today, this is the better one for sure. No, it's good times out here. What do they want people to have? The prickly pear raspberry lemonade thingy?
Yes.
Oh, can I get one of
Yes.
those?
What is Henry doing?
Getting me a lemonade. I don't know. Okay, so here's the situation.
Henry, get me an ice water, please.
We're just laughing at your face?
Yeah,
Look at him. He's gonna go
water
sit
with
back
no
down.
ice. Big water with no ice. Thank you.
It's that way.
Yeah, he's sitting down.
So we
That
did
thing's
give
on his
away
phone.
150 of them,
I said please.
and we're under the impression there's maybe 15 or 20 people who are here that didn't get one. Some people may have already left. But if you're here and you want one, it may take an hour, but we can get them here.
All right.
I say we get them here.
Yeah, I
Yeah?
say we
Yeah.
get him here.
Okay.
Stay, eat lunch, and then you'll get it.
Okay. There you go. We'll get the rest of the trays here.
Feels like most people are.
Dan, why did you make Travis get your
Oh,
water?
thank you, sir. Yeah, I sent the
That's a tough
intern.
look for Henry. I think Henry thinks he has to go in line and order. Let's move on. If you need a tray, come grab one. And if you're here, hang out and we'll get you one.
Have you had one of these prickly pears yet?
I have.
They're
about to.
amazing.
Yes.
I
They're
can
my
ba-
new lake and pool drink.
I can baby bird it to you if you want. Okay, you want to
Swap.
get into some stuff?
Yeah, let's get into some stuff. You want to do some sports?
I do.
Do they have any other I probably do. Later today, we'll have our monthly business review with Jake.
With Blake.
Excuse me, with Blake. But you'll be here.
Jake can do it.
Oh, can I do a? It's not a funny thing, but it's about the Texas floods, and it's maybe it's a bad bit. It's something that bothers me about it. But this was the other day. The morning news put out an article, and it's so the headline of the article is Troy Aikman, Texas sports teams react to deadly flood at Guadalupe River. And so I'm very excited to click on this. What might they be saying? I
You'll never
love
find-
this art. Yeah, Troy Aikman. Is he ripping
Yeah,
the
So you have to click and
why
see,
camping sucks anyway?
They're making it sound like
Let's blame the campers.
they're making it sound like the Star's official account was going to tweet out like
Thanks.
chemtrail or cloud seeding theories about like I don't know.
Right, no, the
Star
Star actually the Stars did tweet out, we support the introduction of legislation to prevent government weather modification and geoengineering following the Texas floods. The Cowboys tweeted, maybe Elon shouldn't have fired over 600 National Weather Service workers who predict and warn us about storms and floods. The Rangers tweeted standard thoughts and prayers, and the Mavs tweeted a picture of Cooper Flagg working out in order to try to make us forget about Luka, but I'm not buying it.
Yeah, okay. I
So-
like that. So what about Troy?
Yeah, I didn't actually click on the article. I got too excited.
Click here to find out.
Yeah, but who knows?
Since you've already mentioned that,
What?
Whataburger is selling collectible cups for just $2, and all proceeds will go to the Kerrville disaster relief.
Oh, okay. Cups for Kerrville. There's another reason to come out here today. Why don't you do that?
Yeah,
Why
it's
don't we
good.
buy a bunch of them and give them out? We'll do that. How about that?
So I have a couple sports things for you. While we were gone, the Stars hired a new head coach, Glenn Gulletson. This is only important because I have a history with him. He doesn't know that. But I used to be the board op for the Stars postgame show when he was the coach 10-plus years ago. And, this is when I was even more full of piss and vinegar. And I thought he was awful. He was a boring interview. He was a boring press conference. And a lot of times I had to run his press conferences in like hour 13 of my shift after a West Coast game. And I couldn't stand the guy. Couldn't stand the way he looked. To me, he's the opposite of Hitch. With Hitch, you look at him and you're like, okay, this guy's fat. He wasn't able to play. But clearly, he knows his stuff. That's how he was able to get here. Glenn Gulletson just looks like a guy, sounds like a guy, wasn't really more than a guy as a player, and I couldn't stand him. And I started telling Bob, I think I could kick this guy's ass. And it really bothered Bob. Don't know why, other than it's Stars. And he's back now. They're trying to sell it, obviously, as he's ready now. You know, he was just too early before. He was not ready for the NHL bench. All the while, they're clearly still paying Pete DeBoer. And their owner has expressed no interest in paying two coaches at once. So, one, I want to fight the guy for charity, for Kerrville, if he'll do it. And two, it doesn't seem like a step forward at all.
No, and I actually I wanted to do a Stars coaching hire mention before we went on break. And it was going to be laughing at, I believe, I don't know if it was the owner or the GM who said, we're like heading into this coaching search, we're not looking for retreads.
Would you just open up the dictionary and go to R?
But no,
Glenn
retread would, to me, that meant we're looking cheap, we're looking new, you've never heard of this guy. We're not looking for another Pete DeBoer because that'll
cost.
Pretty expensive signing. I don't know, maybe is there an analogy in other local sports teams who had a pretty expensive coach who had a lot of skins on the wall and he just hires somebody that nobody else was looking at? Oh, yeah. Little Brian Schottenheimer-ish. So,
yeah. And
but then to see they actually do hire a retread, but he also fits into column A, where
right.
Nobody's really after him.
Neither of the
Nobody
good
was
parts.
going to give him a head coaching position. But he knows, like, the thing is, you don't have to really tell him how to get to the arena.
Very important.
The parking, where,
yes.
you know.
He knows how to use the company card.
I bet this Whataburger not here.
Already
when he
got
was
his
the coach.
seat on the plane.
Just a field.
Yeah.
When Gully was here before. And then I have, this can get us into some of your audio. Much like books, I'm quitting the Rangers after last night. It's time.
What happened?
You're
Why?
such a quitter now.
They got walked off again, and I tried to get their team homer, Jared Sandler, to say their breakthroughs right around the corner yesterday, and he's like, no. They played 4 straight extra inning games, lost 3 of them.
That sounds like you're on the verge. You're in extra innings.
And it's funny because the first night it happened when we were on vacation, I was walking around the house going, free baseball, annoying everyone. And then it happened the next night, and my chant wasn't as loud. And then it happened the next night, and that free baseball, it's just a whimper. They're getting a historic season from DeGrom, and they're not worth our time. I quit.
Totally quit.
Rangers, you fight.
Last September 11th, you started quitting everything.
Yep.
Quit that. Quit books.
I'm too into football right now to watch this spare-ass
How are we into
team.
football yet?
Just thinking
It's like
about
July.
it.
Okay, yeah. I kind of am, too.
I was just thinking about it a lot. The quarterback on the Netflix is about to drop, or if it hasn't already.
This morning I took a swim through the NFC East just to kind of feel some of the offseason moves, look at what the other teams have done. I forgot Deebo Samuel is on.
Yeah, he's fat and slow now.
Maybe
Is he?
Yep.
probably didn't forget, but Stephon on the Patriots. That was a nice reminder this morning when I was doing some Trayvon research.
Well, they're not in the NFC East.
No,
but-
I just mean going through surprises. But
No, did you remember that Jameis is in our division now?
I did.
Yeah.
In the most
And
electric
Russ?
quarterback room of all time.
What the hell, Russ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, what are the Giants doing?
And then on Twitter yesterday,
Tanking.
our good friend Bobby Stroop, the trainer for Patrick Mahomes, apparently some Kansas City podcast or former radio host went on some rant calling Patrick fat. And Bobby's going to do what Bobby does, so that turned into an all-day affair that me and some of the boys just, what do you think he'll do here? So look at him now.
The guy tweeted a picture of Mahomes with no shirt on, and it's just not what you would think of an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
And then
That's the off season, bud.
Bobby began the conversation was simulate your location.
Yeah. Yeah.
He stays busy, man.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wonder if Mahomes, because famously Brady had that picture at the Combine, right?
Yeah.
Where he's kind of like just regular guy. And then he became Brady because he started, eating like a maniac and all that. What do you know about Mahomes and his nutrition and all that?
Way different.
Is it?
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's not.
He won't be 45 and playing?
I don't. If he does, yeah, I would bet against it.
It's
Yeah.
up to him.
Yeah, and also I just don't know. His body, he needs to be a little bit bigger. I feel like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's as good because that's what the guy brought up. He was like, well, Brady, whenever he got serious about it, or most of the greats, this guy was saying, took their fitness seriously. But it's actually not all that true. Right? I mean, I don't know that anybody looked at Brett Favre and he's working out, but he wasn't chiseled.
No.
Peyton.
Right. So that was a fun off-season fight there. I'm very interested by this gentleman in the parking lot.
What do we have?
He's walking around. Is that okay?
Can't see him.
Do you guys remember the listener of the ticket who would go by Rowdy? I think
No.
that's him. Okay. Anyways, let's move on.
Okay. You had us all turn around and look out into the parking lot.
I think we might have a prize. Remember we used to talk about prize pigs?
Uh-huh.
Like every time we do a remote, there were people that just showed up for prizes.
Yeah.
I think that guy was one of them. And in the lead up to this, we were like, what about prize pigs? And we thought, no way.
Are you happy that we have a prize pig?
Kinda.
Have we made it?
It feels like validation.
We're on the list?
A bit.
Or at least that we have cool prizes.
But the other thing to get you less than jacked about the Rangers was this Kevin Pillar interview.
Kevin Pillar was on a
retirement.
Was on a podcast. He had some things to say about the current Rangers because he was released by the Rangers earlier this year.
Yeah.
Would you say yeah?
Yeah.
DFA'd?
Yep.
Because he was on this podcast. One was to announce his retirement, which was kind of funny.
Like you
and he did a little moaning about, which I kind of find funny. So what do you think of this? He did a little moaning, light moaning, about how it's not cool, like if the team doesn't tell you the day before and then let you start a game and know this is your last game. If you're Kevin Pillar, you're probably being given a gift even to be signed this year by the Rangers.
Yeah.
It isn't like he was tearing it up. But
You know what? I don't know. I don't know what the norm or the protocol is. Like, are you doing it to be mean? Could you have done it a different way? I don't know, so I can't say.
Yeah, well, they could have also, thought, well, maybe some other team will pick him up. Is every team at the end of a journeyman's contract supposed to, make sure you call your friends and you get your family at this game?
We just want to make sure you're in a good place, Kevin Pillar.
Yeah, we paid you $3.5 million this year to kind of really suck, and we're releasing you here in June.
It's a little rich.
Anyway, that was a little part of his thing. And then he had some things just to say about the Rangers in general and what it was like joining this year's team. And some people would have this all queued up and ready to roll.
Some people would make fun of that person if they didn't.
But not me.
But not me.
I wouldn't do either of those things.
I wouldn't do either of those.
Here is Kevin Pillar. We can stop it and start it if you want.
I thought they would be a little bit tighter as a group. I thought it would be kind of like my experience in Atlanta. That was probably one of the tightest groups since, I was in Toronto. It's like everyone just, pulled on the same rope. Everyone wanted to hang out. Everyone wanted to do everything together. Everyone, winning was the most important thing every day. And, when I got in the clubhouse in Texas, there's a lot of town in there, and there's just a lot of individual stuff going on. A lot of guys are doing their own thing. You might not see people till the game goes on.
Until the game?
Yeah, guys are kind of just doing their own thing, whether they have their own. And it's not a knock against people that have their own routines, right? Some people, have routines where they do like training room and they do their own
Could you
stuff
stop
in the
it?
weight room.
One of my pet peeves is when people lay something out clearly as a criticism, like as a contrast to the way it should be done, and then immediately say it's not a knock on doing it that way.
Yeah, you're saying something incendiary and then walking it
Yeah,
back.
like you're putting forward they're doing this. That's not how they should do it. That is a good point you're making, if that's your opinion. Then you immediately, it doesn't actually matter. I hate that.
Have routines where they do like training room and they do their own stuff in the weight room. They have everything kind of timed out. As you get older in the game, you earn that right to kind of like, this is how I go through my routine.
No BP.
Yeah, not a lot of BP, not a lot of, stretching together. And I just felt like maybe for me, just being kind of the outcast, because it's a lot of the same guys there that won the World Series. So maybe I was kind of on the outside. I was kind of looking more of a way to kind of, get in that inner circle. And a lot of that times that comes through, stretch and BP where, you talk about things other than baseball. You get to know guys a little bit more. And that would even start like in spring training. But to me, the reason I think a lot of guys just got off to a bad start individually, and the pitching was so good. And
you know what? He's going to get into a little something else here, but so number one, it's interesting. I don't know, if that's the way things rolled during a World Series winning season, then
Yeah,
but we've always heard that kind of about Seager and Simeon for sure, right? They do their own thing. They were brought in to lead by example. That they work hard, they're very focused, but they're not rah-rah guys either.
They're not Mike Napoli. But and I also, I know that Adolis does a lot of his own stuff. So, I don't know how communicative he is. Sounds to me like they need to hire Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah, no doubt.
So that was what I wanted to say here. He is saying exactly the things that Brian Schottenheimer is trying to bring in. Is team unity, bonding, have dinner together, talk, learn about the families, all these kind of things will strengthen your bond to where when you are in the huddle and on the field and you need each other, then that's going to help. Now it remains to be seen. We've never really seen anyone in a head coaching position, I think, put that out as their main thing. Like, this is the main focus of this team.
Yeah, well, no one else has ever been hired with such little of a resume, so obviously, yes.
Right. I don't know what else he could put as his main thing.
I think he knows Pete Carroll.
He knows Pete Carroll, and a lot of people say that was Pete Carroll's thing. Pete Carroll playing music at, during practice and
Taking his shirt off.
Yeah.
Energetic dude, cheering him on as they burn a flag in the locker room.
Yeah, I felt like that was a bridge too far, but yeah.
It's just interesting to see how I'm pretty firm believer that talent is the most important thing overall.
I am also, but I'm a firm believer that in professional sports the margins are very small and there's a lot of talent. So if you're going to run into another talented team, I'll take the team that, finishes each other's sentences over ice cream at dinner, So to me, that's the read I get on the Rangers anyways.
Right.
So
to me, that audio,
this is just like confirmation bias for me where I'm like, yeah, of course, that's what they seem like.
That audio was not shocking at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it made sense. I mean, even after the World Series, we said it's a hard time relating to this team because it doesn't even look like they're having that much fun. Now, it got them a World Series, so which would you rather have? Guys that slap each other on the ass or wins? Now, they're not doing the wins part this year, which I guess is the problem.
And it all really just goes to show. Are you playing the rest of it?
I will.
Okay, let's listen to the rest
Why,
of it.
you want to?
No, go ahead.
But to me, the reason I think a lot of guys just got off to a bad start individually, and the pitching was so good, and we were still winning. They were still winning games. I guess it was we at the time. They were still winning games. It just seemed like the winning didn't seem. It didn't. A lot of guys weren't like enjoying that we were winning games. A lot of people got caught up in their own failures.
He went on to talk about, the fact he's been in the playoffs before and everything, and that it is an interesting look at one of the other differences in playoff baseball versus regular season baseball is that once you get into the playoffs, you actually do stop worrying about your own statistics. And a win, everybody's happy after a win. If you can do the tiniest thing that contributed to that win, then you're happy. You went 0 for 4, but you moved that one runner along in that certain situation that led to something good. Like, that was a key part. Whereas in July, if you do that same, you went 0 for 4, but I grounded, to the right side of the infield that allowed that runner to go from second to third, and then a sacrifice fly was hit the next play. You're not thinking that after the game like that. I'm swelled up that I at least did that, and that, You're just looking at I had a bad game.
That's fascinating to me. As someone who didn't really play baseball, I hate that, right? That's the same sort of like, we're going to swallow the whistle at the end. Like, I would prefer if you could have it be as rote across the board. We're going to strategize the same. We're going to play the same. We're going to officiate the game the same. But, I mean, I guess it happens in the NBA, right? Like the playoffs, it turns into more of an isolation-heavy game. It's very interesting. I don't know. I think it reiterates how lucky we were to have a manager that was sneaking away to do cocaine, and he wasn't even the only guy with a drug problem. Everything was so fun. There were shirtless pictures. We just had a lot. And now we have this guy saying this team is so boring. Yeah, you're right, it's boring.
We had the claws and the antlers.
Dude.
We had
you, Darvish, stealing. We had you stealing menthols from Ron Washington.
Fighting necklaces, is that what it was called?
Oh, yeah.
I bought one of those.
Yep, same.
You had one?
You are 100% a fighting mark.
Me?
Yeah.
I wear them with my grounding shoes.
I forget the arm sleeve that they all wore, too. I got one of those and wore it at slow pitch softball.
What was it? Napoli had some cool short. That was later. That wasn't the 2011 team, right? But
yeah.
The red, white, and blue Napoli shorts. Did you ever buy those?
Yeah. I had it all. I was hitting a double in slow pitch and throwing the antlers up. I was
I
all
bet
about
you
it,
were.
dude.
It does give me a thought about the Cowboys and Shoddy. That I am the kind of person who thinks people should be treated like adults, and that you should have some personal accountability for what you do, and that I don't need to know what time you get up or you go to bed or how often you work on the show, as long as, you get it in and the show is the show and, you're well prepared and all that kind of stuff. And that kind of, it's what Shoddy, it feels like what Shoddy is doing.
Yeah.
And probably because, again, he has to, like, he doesn't have a resume to support. You guys all have to fall in line and listen to me because I did this. Like, point over there, and I did this. Like, he can't do that. So
yeah, but
he almost has to give it all to the people.
You wouldn't like a boss forcing chemistry, making you go out to dinner, making you play a free throw competition.
Tune in next summer for the Ticket Compound, one of the most highly rated things that the radio runs. I'm serious. That's why you do it.
But Dan
I'm not
hated
making
it.
A joke.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what works.
Don't come around to saying you would enjoy Shoddy. You would hate him.
Come on. Don't you want to hang out?
Well, that was
no. We don't want to hang out.
Then we can go to Whataburger.
That's forced chemistry that it directly leads to on air. It isn't dinner in July and then you're going to play
field
a game
goal a little
in September.
straighter.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this is
so that wasn't necessarily the same thing as let's do a ticket retreat. It's not on the air at all. It's just all of us getting away for a week to get to know each other and have the three-legged race. And
that way you could perform well at the compound.
Carry or whatever, yeah. So
we'll see.
We will, but it is.
I think they're in a position where what they need is vibes, and all he has is vibes, so I'm going to take that.
It is giving me pause and making me think, what if the Shoddy thing works?
No, don't.
What if this actually is the way to go? And
I can tell you
do
what
look
works.
at that early season week schedule and think I might get sucked in.
A little momentum?
They're 6-2.
Little momentum?
It's like, oh my gosh, they'll ride this. Who cares if they
6-2. Oh, here comes Trayvon Diggs.
Who cares if they have Kansas City and Philadelphia?
Kansas City weak today.
I think the 1967 Packers are on the end of the schedule. Like, they've got some of the great teams in history.
All right, so this is progress.
Right, and my other thing that gives me pause on that person that had pause is I do consider football to be the one sport I think the coach has the most direct influence on a win-loss record. I think one coach can take an 8-8 team and win 9 or 10 or 11 games with that. And by the same token, like, I wonder, is Shoddy the guy that might take a 8-8 or even a 7-9 McCarthy coach team and turn it into a 5-win team? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I mean, the bar is pretty high because they did win 12 3 years in a row before last year. So I don't know. I think I'm going to be able to sell you on this by October.
Does Shoddy have a 5-year guaranteed deal, or is it kind of like one of those?
It's definitely not 5 years guaranteed. I don't know how team-friendly it is, but it's as bad as you think it is.
It's as team-friendly as they're allowed to pull off,
yeah,
right?
I mean, yeah.
Like, what was he going to say? No?
Let me go. You know what? I have a bunch of other interviews for OC positions. Oh, wait.
After looking
I don't even have those.
Like, after looking at the Giants a little bit today, I'm thinking, why did they keep the GM and the coach?
That's a whole thing, though, that we should get into one day, But
I think it's not paying a new coach.
That's part of it.
But I also think now when you get rid of him, can you just slide the DC over? He's now interim, and you don't have to pay the DC anymore. Because that's probably what could happen this year.
Who's their DC?
I'm just bringing up I don't know. I'm sure it's not as impressive as Matt Eberflus.
What if we pivoted and did a little NBR here? How would everyone feel?
I think you should reset where we are and plug this as well.
Oh, he's going to hand me the flood plug.
While I search for the MBR Open.
Cups for Kerrville, TC. You can buy collectible cups out here at Whataburger for just $2. All proceeds go to the Kerrville Disaster Relief. We are at the Whataburger at El Dorado in the Tollway. We've given away about 150 car trays branded with Whataburger's 75th anniversary logo on it. And you can come get some. I think we're bringing 150 more. Hit deal.
What else? Oh, you want me to hit the up? Oh, what?
Damn, son. That's a bad look for you.
It's that time of the month.
It's all going bad for me.
It's time for the Dumb Zone's monthly business review. And now, the king of all note takers, here's Blake Jones.
We were up 22 subs in the month of July, June.
Okay.
That's good.
Deuce.
So great news. Subbies are up. People are here at Whataburger. It's a great time here in the Dumb Zone. However, let's begin with bad bits. This came from Dan on June 2nd, where he said having other athletes mic'd up to watch hockey games is a bad bit.
It's a bad bit, and it might be racist.
Yeah, it's basically based on the videos I see are usually two black NBA players.
This came up because Travis and I were actually at a Stars game, and Donovan Ezerique and
that's good. Tyler Booker.
Yeah, one of their other picks was at the game, and it just seems like that's Trayvon did one.
Yeah,
it's you don't. I guess I haven't seen the one with like
Aiden.
I don't know, probably. I haven't seen the one with Tyler Biotish.
Yeah, you're saying they're not putting Drew Brees on the glass?
Yeah.
Yeah. June 5th, Dustin
What if we put ladies?
That near the glass? Dangerous.
That's true. Yeah.
The puck just gravitationally pulls over to him.
Yeah.
You can't fit the whole WNBA
What
there
if?
on the rink.
That's true.
Yeah?
We mic up Angelo.
Wow.
You take him to a hockey game.
Me?
It's your bit.
Yeah, this just got a lot better.
He would say, this is great. Can we go get some popcorn?
We tell him he can invite a friend, but he's got to go. He's got to wear this mic, we sit across the arena, and we
film them?
we video.
We do our own.
Yeah, we do our own thing. Dude.
All right.
Listen, if
Just
nothing else,
say, you're going to get...
like what you're doing here, which is we're trying to strike the balance of exploitive, helpful, and funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
He won't spend much time watching the game.
Well, we just want him mic'd up. I'm sure, like when you see one of those with two NBA players or whatever, you only see about 30 seconds of the audio. Like there's never, it's not full of gold. So we bring Angelo.
What if he's like, that's a trash pinch in the corner?
he's yelling
Double
about.
down. Yeah.
You bring him with Xavier Leggett and sit them next to each other, and we're going.
Yeah.
Tell him to bring a girl.
Don't tell him to bring a girl. He may take that too literally.
I'm pretty sure he's gay.
Okay.
You are, huh?
Yeah.
Probably
He
helps.
knows.
Bad bits
Blake
continue.
has that kind of radar.
Yep. June 5th, Dustin Colquitt signing a one-day to retire at Chief.
Right. The storied career of Dustin Colquitt's
Colquitt.
majestic punts
You remember the one
in old Arrowhead.
Yes. Flip the field.
way up there. I'll never forget it. I was
wish-
telling my kid about it the other day.
Wishing yourself a happy Father's Day, a bad bit.
Oh, my God. Sports mayor.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
why this came up. And then the author that tweeted her book signing wasn't going well.
You know what's so funny about that? We made fun of that lady and everybody that was telling her like how sad it was and keep her head up. And one of those people was Sarah Heppola.
That's, yes, why it was retweeted. Let's do this.
Things Dan and Jake want.
A lot of wants from the month of June, including Jake saying he wants to do a focus group.
I do. I think we could do one here today.
On what?
Us. The show. But, it would be better if it was people we don't know.
Right.
Like, if we could get a random group, because we used to do these in college, like in grad school, and you'd sit on the other side of the glass and...
So do they have to listen to the show? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people that have never heard the show, because I've had this happen.
Right.
It's terrible.
And you have to usually pay them.
Hey,
Well, that
Whataburger
sounds
Man
bad,
is here.
too.
Whataburger Man. Holy shit. What's this guy's deal?
Look at him.
Dude, that is Whataburger Man.
Oh, my God. Hey there. And
Now, he's not made out of a burger, though, like Mavs Man.
No, he's got
made
a
out of
cake.
No, he might be made out of basketball. He may be Mavs Man cousin. I don't know.
He's
Well,
made
that's
out
awesome.
of orange and but he's got a cape.
You know, as big of a fan of Whataburgers
Kinda
as I am,
like,
I'm not sure of the lore.
I've never seen that guy.
Do you want to come explain the lore of the character to us?
Here, hand her this.
What is that thing?
Here, hand her the mic.
What a guy.
Will you grab that mic?
What a guy.
Hey, who are you?
Hi there, I'm
Hello.
Sarah.
Sarah.
Good to see you
I
again,
am the
Sarah.
marketing manager for Whataburger North Texas. So
Okay.
I get to work with Travis.
You what?
I get to work with Travis.
You get to work with
I
him.
get to.
Okay,
I'm
we're
so
forced
lucky.
to.
Wow.
Right. And you get to. You the
Stop
treat.
it.
Yes. And the special celebrity appearance right now, walking through the store, is What a Guy.
Wow, everyone give it up for What a Guy. Who I just
And-
found out existed.
What a Guy is saving the world one burger at a time.
Okay.
yeah.
In what way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, aren't you a little happier when you have a burger?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
yeah. So just by offering
By
burgers.
offering burgers to the world.
I get my happiness out of thinking of the animal that we, took care of for me to get that burger.
Do we have a special vehicle that brings What a Guy around, or no? Is
I
it-
wish we did, but
No.
he just magically appears
Oh, okay.
and then magically disappears.
Okay, great.
But yes, he brings happiness and fries and burgers
That's good
everywhere
news.
he goes. Yeah.
And what
It's so fun to have him. We're so lucky to have him here today.
and what a guy just brought more car trays.
What?
Really?
And What a Guy brought in more car trays, it sounds like.
Do you,
Big time.
do you
See, I'm
do this
telling
on
you,
the side? Like, what is your
saving
what is
the
your
world,
deal?
one burger and car tray every single day.
Thank you.
Sarah,
That
everybody.
was really nice.
Thank
And
you,
car
thank
trays.
you.
We got the
Sarah.
trays. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know where to put it. Just throw it. Yeah.
All right, what's next, Blake?
Oh.
Oh, yeah. MBR. Jake wants to do a focus group. Oh, Jake has always wanted to ride a police horse.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can make that happen.
They seem very powerful.
June 20th, Dan wanted to be helicopter guy, which I think has died down. You don't seem to care as much as you used to.
Yeah, because they keep dying.
Yeah, they fall.
A lot.
And then just we have more focus than when my first, this was many years ago that I thought I would become a helicopter pilot.
Recently you said you'd become a helicopter pilot before Johnny Manziel made the PGA.
I still like your chances.
I still like that better, just because that I still might possibly do it.
Hey, don't lie to me. Did you think you were going to get your pilot's license if we had to sit out for 6 months?
Actually, I was just talking about that when I was in Cleveland. I thought the 6 month, I thought I was going to drive to Cleveland. I was going to hang out there for a month. I was going to do this and that.
I had big plans.
Yeah, I had a lot of plans, 6 months off.
But thanks to Frank.
Yeah.
Our lawyer Frank we didn't get any of.
June 20th, Dan wanted to be a sloppy seconds guy.
Sure.
Which is a low bar.
If I'm Micah Parsons' best friend and I get to clean up on whatever. Do you think the chicks that are interested in Micah Parsons would then just transfer their interest right to me once they found out that they couldn't get Micah Parsons?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I like a little salty and sweet, like the difference there.
Okay.
Yeah. They'll get warmed up.
Yeah, okay.
And then lastly, Dan wants to do a bowling tournament.
Let's make it happen. Talk to Whataburger. I think I would bowl every day if I had time.
Yeah.
If you just had, I fantasize about all right, if I had no job, I had all the resources. I don't think most people are a lay around type. I think I'd have a standing couple times, 3, maybe 4 times a week.
What about a lane in your house?
That was a dream of mine.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I wonder what that costs.
The basement bowling alley? Yeah.
It can't be that. It can't be that much. I've seen people who are not mega rich who have it, but I think that's kind of lame though, because then people have to come to your house, and it's you feel like Richie. Come play with me.
Yeah,
I'd rather go buy everyone's round at the lanes.
Here's another thing that Jake quit: lunch. Remember, you just had people over for lunch rather than going somewhere.
Yeah, I tried it.
Bowl.
Yeah, I would do it.
The problem, though, I was going almost every day during one summer, and my right arm got way bigger than my left.
It did
Marcus
not.
Simeon.
It did. Because I was chunking a 16-pound ball 100 times a day.
That would do it.
I could tell.
With his torque.
Yeah.
We had a bad radio bowling tournament in the year 2002 or something. Did you know that?
And it didn't make enough money for the station?
Yeah, they have to. It raised a bunch of money for charity, but they would say, okay, if you make $5,000 for charity, then the station has to make $10,000.
Yeah.
They had some number, and we weren't hitting that. I was all right.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like the charity was the thing. I'm sorry, did I talk over your bit?
It's all good. Time capsule. And these are 2 that we are definitely going to want to remember. The first, Shoddy said that his coaching staff will get raided in the offseason. And there's no way.
Well, because they're going to win so much. You have to give it to him for this. The planning ahead he's now into the offseason after their tremendous success, and he's trying to re-staff his all the people that left.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Eberflus, maybe.
Let's not sign stuff while we're on the air.
It's fine. It's fine.
All right, do
it's
it.
Fine.
Let's
Sign
do
it. You already.
Eberflus, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Go ahead, do it.
Clayton Adams.
Okay.
Is he getting rated?
But just don't pay attention to Blake.
And then Dan says Shoddy will have to give up play calling at some point in the season.
On this side, you said?
Especially, is he starting as the play caller?
Yeah. Right?
But he's never done it?
No.
Shoddy's
calling plays.
I thought he did it in Seattle for a year.
He's done it for more than a year. He did it for a handful of years. He lost it a couple of times during the season. He has called about 1.5 seasons worth of plays.
Okay.
Fewer than Dak Prescott has.
Is that good on your resume?
No.
A
To have
season
lost
and a half.
it a couple of times? Yeah.
I mean, I think it was
You're so dynamic as a play caller.
But he was several times just an OC who didn't call plays.
We didn't think it was fair to the rest of the league to allow him to call plays.
Right.
It was too much of an advantage for us.
But if this thing actually pops, Eberflus could get hired.
Was he the guy that...
They have enough talent defensively to be really good. I don't think I would hire Matt Eberflus, but...
Was he the OC when people were saying let Russ cook? Like
Yeah.
he was running the ball so much?
And eventually they did start to throw it more.
After they started the mantra, let Russ cook?
Yeah, I think he actually takes credit for that.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm the one that let him cook?
We have very little evidence to go off of on how he's going to call plays.
When he cooked that one year for like the first 7 weeks and then really had a big swoon?
Yeah, when someone else took over?
Yeah, remember when Russ was like having his MVP season?
Yeah.
He had a tremendous first half of the season and then,
All right, let's do this while Jake is not paying attention.
Jake has a buddy.
Jake has a buddy who said they should change the end zone to football is gay.
They should. Actually, that guy might have just left because they put all that other stuff on there, right? End racism.
Yeah, but this came because Des Bryant got really mad on Twitter for somebody saying football is queer.
It wasn't somebody on Twitter. It was a organization affiliated with the NFL that put out a video, and it started out football is gay on a black screen, and then it said football is all the other ones, right? It rolled through, and male, female, and Des just was like, he just quote tweeted it and said, football not gay.
We interrupt this program just to mention that
he can do it.
Whataburger guy.
He's the guy.
Was
what a man. What a guy.
What a guy.
What a guy.
Yeah.
Did come with the goods as delivered. Jasmine was incorrect before when she said that we wouldn't have any more car trays. She's a dirty liar. And we have another box of car trays here, and right now TC is giving them out to people, and then with each person here, he will tell them congratulations, and then they take a picture with him in the car tray.
It's like they're graduating.
Or I remember doing this when we would win a softball tournament or something. Each little girl would come up and
hey, that's Chris Ivey and John Kukla.
Take a picture. Kukla's here? Oh, John Kukla's here. He said he wasn't coming, and he did.
What's next?
Sorry, dude. We're back to the MBR. That was
let me rush through this.
Promotional announcement just to mention we do have trays at Whataburger.
Hey, Frank's still here.
Jake is still here.
Jake has buddies who dress like him. Jake has a buddy who is always at his kid's baseball tournament.
What was that? Dress like him? What was the context of that?
You said that I have buddies who dress like me, and I just thought that was a funny thing to say.
Okay, I got nothing for you on that one.
Good, you're not supposed
By that,
to.
do you mean pants and shorts?
Jake,
okay.
I don't know, just to think that you've created a style to dress that everyone wants to mimic.
Yeah.
Jake has a buddy who worked at a mattress store.
Great bid. And if you work at one now, hit me up.
Jake had a buddy who we'll see at a sit-in soon and got his wife to take the community mechanical bid.
How do you, where are you on your mattress life?
Me?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've had the same mattress for like 10 years. Is that bad?
I'm at 13.
And we never flip it.
We don't either.
We should, though. That's what I always hear.
We used to flip the one at the lake just because there was so much action happening on it.
Yeah. They say you're supposed to flip it and everything, but I feel like if I do, then the imprint of my body won't be in there anymore, and it will bother me.
This is for Frank, so I'm going to make you do it.
Oh, this is for Frank?
If you're in the mattress game, hit me up.
And then finally, Jake has a buddy whose parents got remarried after divorcing.
I'll tell you a story. Not only that, which is they were separated for a little bit. It was crazy.
I thought that's for Frank.
I don't know what's going on. I thought it was too.
Oh.
He may just want a handshake.
Hey.
Recently talked to a listener. I'll tell her story in a couple days. My wife and I went and visited her spa. She is married. She's almost 50. She's married to a guy who's like 13 years older. And 10 years ago, they took a year off.
A year?
Dang.
And now they've been back together for 10 years, 9 years. But, yeah.
I feel like that could spark up, my marriage. Just at least let's try the year off.
She was describing a spark, I can tell you that.
Let's try the year off, and then we'll see. We'll evaluate where we are there.
Yeah, circle back.
Like, can you just imagine when you have like a weekend off? You're like,
Oh,
oh my
yeah.
gosh, what would I do for that year?
I mean, the problem would be like taxes and how all that works, but you'd get through that. You're off. Option year.
Things that are back, only one.
I would buy so many condoms
Just buy them and
just to be ready, bro.
The New World screwworm flies are back.
Yeah. I don't know if that direct relationship to Trump, but
Yeah.
that resulted in us learning a lot about how they control fly populations.
Only
They
one
release sterile male
I don't
ones.
remember any of it. Yeah,
I know.
only one Roseanne from the month, and it was Ursula.
Definite Roseanne.
One anchored phrase, negative connotation. Connotations are typically negative.
Never heard positive.
Yeah. Kim spins, you're up to 549. There was 3 unique ones in the month of June.
Hit me.
Let's go Hannah Storm.
Blew up her face with a gas grill one time. And she's married to, who?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
We did talk about it, but I don't remember. And then Zach Arnett.
Zach Arnett. That's college football?
No.
Zach Arnett?
It's golf, the golf show on the ticket.
Oh.
No, that's Rick.
Oh, no, but isn't there a Zach? I don't know.
I think he passed out in a drive-thru or something.
Oh, that is college football. He's a coach at Florida State now, where Deuce plays. Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about
he's
Zach Barnett.
No, not the guy from the ticket and from Football Scoop. Florida State hired a coach
Son of Dave.
who passed out in a drive-thru.
Great Dave.
With his pants down.
Yeah.
Was it a Whataburger?
It was not.
They would never stand for that.
If that's their position, I agree. I don't know. Maybe it's not.
And then we'll end with this.
General observations.
If you want more Kim spins, go to kimspin.com, where you can take a random spin of the wheel and see what the Kim spin of the day is. June 2nd, Jake doesn't want to get into the ocean anymore, and Jake is bothered that baseball uses decimals for innings pitched.
It doesn't make any sense, and everyone knows that. I don't have a better solution for it. Is the problem?
3.1 is
3.3
3 and a third innings pitched. Yeah.
It doesn't look right to me.
Should it be 3.33?
Yeah, it should, with a little line over the top. But as I've quit baseball, this no longer
Yeah, that doesn't
concerns
matter
me.
anymore. Dan told us about his wife watching Ink Master.
Oh, dude.
Oh, the
Down syndrome tattoo show.
right. They had people with Down syndrome draw a picture, and then that picture would be used as a tattoo on somebody.
And it was very touching.
It was. It meant a lot. It's just incredible. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
June 2nd, Jake.
I'm the asshole?
Yeah, right.
And these people, these producers are doing this?
Yeah. Jake was turned on by How to Train Your Dragon.
Let's act like that didn't happen.
All right.
All right.
Dan clipped his second daughter's hair for her first haircut. Jake peed in his water bottle and still drinks out of it.
Look, her hair was hanging in her eyes. Her mom is not like,
Gonna do
what are we
anything
going
about
to?
it?
And then the point is,
Estee Lauder.
do you know what I have right now? Because my kids are older now, but I have this, I have all these baby teeth. What am I going to do with it? We have a lock of hair in a bag. What are we doing with it? Are we just hoping that one of these kids becomes famous and I can sell that on eBay?
Yeah, or
And
like
then I'll be in the news for
maybe
being
like
this
a
a-hole parent?
Jurassic Park type situation where they could recreate them from the DNA of the tooth.
Okay, but do we need all the teeth? Like, do we
I don't
need,
know.
Because here's the
The
thing.
haircut thing, I just knew early on, intuitively somehow, that's a no-go.
That's a mom
Women
thing.
are with the daughter on the hair. That's it. I just knew that. Don't know why.
All right, no, I'm just built around logic and pragmatism.
It's super, super funny to see what a guy in the parking
I think it's like
lot.
directing traffic.
Is he walking around?
So what does logic and pragmatic guy think about peeing in your water bottle and then drinking out of it?
I think that's horrible.
I think that detergent
the-
exists, which kills germs, just like all the other germs that are on our dishes, and we move right on.
Yeah, but you didn't even wash it right away. You left it sit in the dishwasher overnight, and it seeped in there. Have you ever gone potty in your Whataburger Yeti there?
This one?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But I would.
No,
I
don't,
night is young.
no, don't do that.
Certainly would.
June 9th, we learn what PDS stands for.
PDS?
Particularly dangerous situation.
Oh, my God. It's the weather.
They're just making up stuff. Dan's uncle requested which girls to invite to the pool party.
Dude, I haven't stopped thinking about that since then. Not good.
I saw that girl's sister when I was in Cleveland this week.
How's she holding up?
Well, I was friends with the sister, and the one that my uncle wanted to invite over was super hot, the hottest girl in our. She was dating the college guy, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
June 13th, Wings fans had to wait 9 minutes of game time to sit down after their first make.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
They have a bit where they don't sit down until they make a basket, and they had to wait for almost the entire first quarter.
They were offensively challenged during a time of injury.
Yeah.
How are things going now?
The draft is coming up.
We
got a preview show
next
dropping
No.
tonight. Yeah.
Okay. I almost believed you. Did we ever settle what 4 games under 500 is?
No.
Oh, yeah, somebody. Okay, yeah. Somebody emailed us and said that they're going to finish 4 games under 500.
Yeah, Andrew.
And if they don't, he'll pay double
sit-in.
for a sit-in.
Yeah.
And if they do, we have to go give them a free remote.
Yeah.
Which I'm for, but we just have to figure out what is 4 games under 500.
It's super simple. It's 7 and 11. That's it.
So they have to finish 7-11 or worse?
I mean 7 and 10, excuse me. So if they finish 7 and 10 or better, then they are.
That's 3.
This is why I wanted to bring it up.
I'm going to lose my mind. The conventional way in which we say below 500 is 4 games below 500 is something you do after the fact, not before the fact. Right? So if you play 17 games and you go 6 and 11.
7 and 10.
You are 3 games below 500.
Okay, so if you go 6 and 11, you're 5?
So now they're trying to make the case that because it's 8.5 and 8.5, it should be 4.5 and 12.5.
So,
correct.
So there's only a 3 and a 5.
The answer, very simply, is if they win 7 games, we win. Unless he added in a tie as part of it. Did he say?
No.
They got to win 7 games.
Yeah.
And then we get a double.
Yeah. To go out to his awesome man cave and do a great show.
But if it's.
We'll bring Aubrey. Let him go stick it in his face.
Here you go.
If they win below 7.
We got to go do a free show.
I think there's a good chance we'd do a free show, don't you?
Okay, then I'll pay for it.
Oh. So we win
Word
either
is
way.
bond.
I thought you were a shoddy guy now.
Right now we're in July. We're starting to do the research.
All right. Moving on, June 18th. In the neighborhood, Dan is known as the guy who walks in the weird fishing hat.
Not anymore.
You changed?
I haven't worn that hat since that day.
He got you.
Since we got an email.
Ran him out of the paint.
It's terrible. Now I'm the guy wearing grounding shoes.
Jeez, man. June.
But I haven't. I'll wear it again, but it's never going to not be in my mind. Every house I walk by, is this the one?
Somebody's looking out the blinds.
Well, they probably all are, but the fact that they're a listener of the show and also making fun of me,
yeah,
that's
confidence shaken.
Yeah.
What do we got, Clayton?
What happened? What's up? What's going on?
Ooh. Anthony Davis is having surgery.
What the hell? Anthony Davis's eye is falling out?
All right, we'll get to that.
Okay.
June 20th.
Healthy for training camp. Okay.
We got this this email signature in viewer mail that Dan wanted to remember. I don't think he did. Dan wanted to remember Crank Some Hog.
Yeah.
And
that should be the Dumb Zone sign-off.
That's a good sign-off.
When people leave here today, they should be like, all right, good seeing you, man. Go crank some hog.
And the timing of it is funny because I believe the next signature talked about Sarah's milk sheds. So I don't know if there was a little mind connection there or not.
I think it was absolute milk sheds.
In my perusal through our comment sections over the last week, I have noticed that absolute milk sheds has been showing up a lot. So
Absolute milk sheds.
I'll co-opt that.
Let's see, Jake, you're going to know some of this. I think, therefore I am. The unexamined life is not worth living. These are philosopher quotes, and we have your first one in the month of June.
Okay.
This from the words of Jake Kemp. If you sleep with a belt on, you're not relaxing.
Put that on the first page of my of my tome.
Someone needs to put the thought bubble above the Sarah Heppola picture from the article because that fits. That's perfect.
Dude, accidentally fall asleep with your belt on. You call me. You're like, what happened? This is gross.
Dan has a cousin who loves delivering bad news. And the final thing from the month, Dan's trip to the mall included a trip to Spencer's, a slice of Sbarro, and bowling. There's your June.
Sounds like quite a time. This Eliminator, what is it called?
Prickly Pear.
Bless my star, Mr. Jones's MBR. People listen near and far to Blake Jones's MBR.
Business Review.
All right.
Oh. The Dumb Zone.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
I forgot to vape.
You know, today's program, Tuesday, we're generally behind the paywall. But it is open up and free to all who would like to enjoy it, thanks to Whataburger.
Hey,
Whataburger.
That's not going to take off.
No?
That's a long chant.
Oh.
Even What a Guy clapped.
He did.
But, yeah, we got a hold of them through sales@dumbzone.com.
This guy.
That's how you
I do the weave.
If you would like to advertise, you can just send an email there, and I don't know, somebody may or may not reply. We don't really have our act together. And speaking of soliciting, so I got a text. Been getting a lot of these lately. Let's see if I can find the exact one. But do you get these just random texts of, hey, I'm in your neighborhood, or I'll be in your neighborhood later.
Dude.
Do you need some tree trimming done?
Yes.
Or, hey, we'll be in your neighborhood. Do you need this? Like, I get these random texts.
I've had a couple, but I think it's happening to others a lot more than me. I hear about that in job offerings. Hey, TC was telling me that comes up a lot.
Maybe more for him.
Perhaps.
Anyway, but you know this is – they're getting a mailing list somehow because he says, hi, Daniel. So unless they're talking to the person at China Wok or whatever I've recently ordered it, because I'll use Daniel when I order because if Dan, Ban, they don't know. But if you say Daniel, they never get that wrong.
Yeah, and
so
then the fact you do a little extra and make them do son on it just for your entertainment is
sure, it's great. But anyway, Daniel, it's Mike the window cleaner. I'm washing 3 houses right by you in Southlake tomorrow. I'd like to add your home to my schedule. So just very generic. I generally delete these right away. What? I'm at Whataburger. I'm eating.
I didn't say anything.
It was a satisfying meal.
I didn't say anything.
But you gave me that look, and I know that look.
So condescending.
Wipe that look off your face.
Before I slap it off. That's how.
So I thought of this
That's
over
not my
break,
way.
because I was getting a ton of these over break. And recently we've had so speaking of Travis from Community Mechanical, who's out here buying people lunch because it's just what he does. He, along with Brian at Qualis Roofing, did some testimonials about, hey, man, this is working very well for our business, high return, ROI, whatever. So we have these little testimonials, and we have a couple little videos that we think would interest people that they have businesses, and wow, really, this lowly little podcast, out of nowhere can somehow get us, we can partner with them. Anyway, they recorded a few things. And so that's something we use. We'll send it to a prospective advertiser like, hey, well, this work, don't just take it from us. Take it from someone who's actually doing it, and it works. So I sent Mike a text back, Mike the window cleaner. Hey, Mike, I'm very interested in getting my windows cleaned. Also, I'd be interested to know what your return is on this investment of using a text message service.
What are you doing?
Because I host a podcast/YouTube show.
Is this what you did on your vacation?
That has given some local companies an incredible rate of return. Would you be interested in finding out how I could get you a lot of business?
Dude, what has happened to you?
Don't you feel like
that is the most undan thing that you've ever written and read?
It's tit for tat. He's soliciting me.
He's
Let's
pressing,
turn it around.
He's pressing go on a custom.
What if I scratch
thing?
his back and he scratches mine?
Yeah.
And what if tomorrow or Thursday you're like,
hey, Dan here for Mike.
Jake Kemp here for Mike the window cleaner. I watched Travis's testimonial and whatever.
Yeah. What did he say? It didn't get back to you?
It took him a few days, but then he got back to me and with a quote, and he said, let me get you a quote. You're welcome to send me some info about advertising with you as well. So
okay,
let's see where this goes.
Look at this guy.
Let's see.
I love it.
Yeah. Business guy, bro.
Yeah.
It's what I do.
Got car trays.
Clayton says we gave away over 180 trays today.
Oh, dang. I forgot to look at the...
So...
I've got one small story from our vacation.
Okay.
I went to the city of Hearst to see their fireworks show on July 3rd.
Is that the one we did last year?
Yeah, mostly to see the fireworks, also to see our good friend Grady Spencer perform in Hearst.
I went to that last year.
Another spectacular show. And when you play... like the city events, sometimes you've got to make announcements because the guy who booked it needs you to make an announcement. In this case, a kid had wandered away from his family. So I see the guy, I see the whole situation play out. I see the kid, I see them scrambling. There's a lot of cops on bicycles. The guy kind of hurriedly scrambles up to the stage and mid-song.
So they found a kid.
Yeah, and the kid
and they got to tell Grady.
Yes, and so...
Find the drunk parents.
Grady's got to step away from the mic, and he's listening in, and I just can't wait to see this play out. And so he goes through the rest of the song, and then the song is over, and he steps up and, hey, attention, folks, we got a lost kid. If you've lost your kid, he's over at the tent behind us. We're trying to just connect the kid with their parents, just trying to help out. Oh, my. There was no transition. It was, hey, we've got a lost kid here, too.
I don't know. He doesn't have any songs about your kid getting abducted.
Here's what you have to do, though.
But if he did, that would have been fitting.
It was not to, let's back to celebrating July 4th, folks. It was just straight into the Rose Twins song.
If you lose a code or something, you have to describe what it looks like so I know you're not just a fake person just wanting a kid. Like before I show you the kid, describe the kid. Like what?
Keep Jared Fogle away.
By the way, P1Jer is his name on Twitter. The guy that first suggested to Jake that he actually try the car tray. Jake tried a car tray.
Yeah.
That led us to, what is it, 8 years? Did I do math?
Yeah.
2017. 8 years later, we have a Dumb Zone or a Whataburger / Dumb Zone branded car tray that you can get out here at Whataburger today. He says he's here for a meet and greet. The car tray innovator, P1Jer, is around here somewhere and ready to get his picture made with you as well.
He may have ducked off.
Okay. Well,
what do you guys want to do? Can I give you a quick sports topic before some news?
It sounds like we're doing what you want to do, not you. You asked me that. You didn't really care what I want to do.
You could have just kept the conversation going.
Okay.
Yes, and.
This is what Okay, go ahead.
This is what?
It's
And
similar
what
to.
are you eating?
He's eating a grilled cheese.
I know he is, and I've been distracted by it for 10 minutes.
Why?
Well, because to my knowledge, you eat 4 food items, and I've known you a long time, and now there's a new one, and you're eating it in front of me, and I'm just wondering when we.
Are you anti-grilled cheese?
Hell no.
Do you hate America?
Dude,
Jeez.
I love grilled cheese more than I love America.
Anyway.
Yeah, he's going to get a shot of it right there for you if you get
All right.
So we have a few articles that have come out this week regarding what is happening in Lubbock with their NIL situation and their benefactor, Cody Campbell. He's a 43, 44-year-old guy. We've talked about him a little bit. Guy who played football at Tech in the early 2000s for Leach, got into oil and gas after the housing market collapsed. And as it happens, you marry talent with luck. The guy's got $10 billion of value he's sold already. But he's young. You know, he's not your typical big Southern dummy 80-year-old Georgia booster. He's a West Texas guy, and he's a wildcatter. And he recognizes that this is a lawless environment, ripe for wildcatting, and they've thrown a ton of money at it. We talked about it whenever they flipped the number 1 softball player.
Yeah.
The Stanford pitcher. And I was reading an article about this that said, like, you know, it goes without saying how much it would take to get a player away from Stanford's storied program. I'm like, oh, yes. The Cardinal, known for their softball.
Yeah.
You know, that ends up with them in the national championship where they finished second. But the recruiting wins that have been coming this week are absurd.
So football-wise?
Football-wise.
I've seen some stuff like on social media, Texas fans complaining about Tech.
Rich. Quite rich. All of this is very, very rich.
But
the SEC and the Big Ten are upset that somebody else's mom bought a moped and they get to come hang out. But it's really, really interesting to me because it's Lubbock. And there's a guy from CBS who I think the ticket has on every now and then. He wrote a really long article about it. And it's great because, you know, you think of Lubbock and you're like, it's weird. It's already kind of lawless. Like, who knows what's going on out there? And that now we have the revenue sharing situation, right? So starting July now, 2025, colleges have, universities and programs have a certain amount of money they can pay their athletes. But what's unclear is how much more the athletes can add on top of that. Because, like, it's supposed to replace NIL, but it's not. And so that's why last week when Texas Tech out of nowhere got the top offensive tackle in next year's class to commit, it was announced that he had signed a 3-year, $5 million deal, which was basically the first of its kind. It was reported. It was a deal.
Yeah, I've never heard of like a contract like that.
That's what they are now.
Okay, guaranteed?
Guaranteed, but much like with NFL agents, the actual contract is 3 years, $2.3 million. But there are a lot of incentives, which I gather are probably coming from boosters and NIL in addition to the revenue where he could make $5 million over 3 years. Within a day, the number 1 player in the 2027 class, an edge rusher, committed to Tech. The number 1 player in the country. And if you'll notice something about both of these players, they're not what you think of when you think of Texas Tech.
What do you mean?
They have poured an F-ton of oil money into the trenches. And their offensive line this year is the best it's been in 15 years, and it's only getting better. So they have a quarterback that they're kind of like okay with. They have a couple other ones in the pipeline. They didn't go spend a ton of money on a quarterback. They just threw a bunch of money at their offense and defensive lines for the next 2 years because right now there's still really no rules past the revenue sharing part. In a few years, this all may settle down, and it may settle down because this guy's doing this.
So when there's does Texas Tech have like a GM?
Yeah, and he's
which is different
Notre
than the
Dame
AD?
tried to hire him. Marcus Freeman thought so highly of their GM that they tried to hire him, turned him down, which means obviously Tech had to give him a double bag.
Does every college team now have a GM?
Yeah, like Michael Lombardi is UNC's GM. Some of them call it something different, but yeah.
Okay,
you have an
because
executive of your roster.
That's what I was going to say. Like, who's in charge? Is the coach in charge of what play? Like, hey, I don't want another offensive lineman. I need you to go
It's
after.
a whole program.
Okay.
It's a whole program, which Blake's about to dive himself into.
What do you mean?
I'm surprised Blake's here this week. The NCAA game came out.
I wasn't going to miss Whataburger.
That's true.
Oh,
you know how much it means.
the video game?
Yeah.
But that's a big part of the game now, right?
What?
Just managing transfers and the recruiting process.
Yeah, recruiting, and you feel like you're a GM in a video game.
So as far as what's been reported, Tech has more money on the books right now in NIL and committed revenue share than any other team in the country, not by a little. And, yeah.
Along with this, is there a cap?
There is a cap on what you can give out in revenue sharing, but I think it's still unclear on, like, okay, I get my salary from University of Oklahoma. It's $100,000 a year, but can I still go to Whataburger and get 20? Because I think it's existing to preclude that, but that's still happening. So this guy, I think it's interesting. One, because he's super West Texas, Lubbock, Wildcattery, and it's just a cool Tech story. But this whole scene is probably 10 years from now going to look very different than it does now.
Who's the guy? He has died, but the oil guy from
T-Boone Pickens.
OSU, yeah. Like, so if he was still alive,
Clayton,
would he make them a
Times would be good.
Because we had always heard he's, he'd donate things, and
facilities were great for.
You could pay as much as you could under the table, but
yeah,
not enough to do this kind of damage.
Right, and the Southeast Conference. Probably the Big Ten and the SEC have most of the country's old money. Old money. But in Texas, we have people who got lucky, who are in their 40s, and they got lucky by kind of having a devil-may-care attitude in the first place, and now this guy's doing the same thing. But the trenches part is really interesting to me because, if you look up in 5 years, and that's offensive line university.
I mean, that's
30 years after Leach innovated in the way that he did.
It's really what is – I feel like it's kept Texas among the good teams for years, even if they're not the best team, right? They always invest heavily in the offensive line.
Texas?
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
That's what's funny about you saying Texas fans are upset about this. Texas did the exact same thing. They were just closer. Yeah. Texas was down bad.
That was the first thing Sark did.
Go to the offensive line. If Kelvin Banks doesn't become a first overall pick or a first-round pick, then who knows? But, yeah, that's not the way it was under Mike Leach. It's not really the way it was under Mac Brown either.
That is interesting. Are you predicting big things?
No, I mean, they're in the Big 12, so they're going to get to play an easier schedule.
Is
you could go ahead and let me know what the playoff is right now.
I was going to say, is the playoff expanded this year or not till next year?
I think it's this year.
This year it's going to be, what is it this year, TC?
12?
12 this year, but they reorganized the buys. I think that's it. Like, you can't just win a conference and be the 7th seed and get a bye.
But if you win the Big 12, you're in.
You are in.
So,
look, they've got a chance. But it's not about this year, though. They're trying to exploit this window so that when things come back to normal and it's 2036, you think of Tech as Georgia because of the last 10 years of what they've been doing. They're not. Do
they
this
have
year
to
matters,
move conferences to actually make you think that?
Well, this is a whole other problem because the SEC and the Big Ten hate this guy because they don't want. They're like, we're trying to get away from you. We're trying to get away from you. But I think his move is like, yeah, well, what if I keep taking your players and then beating you on the field, and then we can. And the guy's got Trump's ear. He was going to be the commissioner of some sports.
Yeah, with Saban
conference. The dude's not fucking around, is what I'm telling you. He's
the guy that was with Saban trying to revamp college football?
because he's got the money.
All these articles say he's talking to Trump like weekly to try to come up with some solution for the revenue model for college sports.
Dude.
And I'm likely going to be one of those douchebags who when my kids go to college, even though I didn't go to a school with a football team, I'm going to become guns up guy. So I'm trying to settle in now. What do you think of that guy?
What guy?
The guy who gets way too into his kid's college football team, despite not going there.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not a big fan.
But on the other hand, you're giving it more money than anything else you've ever given in your life.
True, I should love Clemson.
So you should have the right to be like bitching on message boards.
That's true. Besides our house, I have not invested
no chance
more into anything since except Clemson University. And then they have the effing balls, because my kid she's in graduate school now, but they'll send you a thing that wants you to donate. Mm-hmm. Like, are you kidding me?
A couple bucks.
Are you kidding me?
You're
to
doing
donate.
Well.
Like, let's see her get a job that pays her
a livable wage.
Yeah, just anything.
And you guys make fun of Angelo for doing the exact same thing.
What?
Asking for more money after you've already given it?
That's true. Angelo
it's the
is
same thing.
The Clemson University of homeless guys. Can I pivot just a little bit? You said Trump and sports and everything. I was surprised you didn't have it in the news. Did you see the Trump bit when you're on break?
Ooh.
Alligator Alcatraz?
Yeah.
No, not Alligator Alcatraz. That's just silly.
What?
He wants to host a UFC event at the White
House. Oh,
yeah.
And I think they posted a photo yesterday that it's going to be next July 4th. They're going to have the octagon right out there on the South Lawn. Why not?
Why not? I agree. Let's do it all. Let's do it all.
Here's Jake with the Dumb Zone News.
Brought to you by Whataburger.
Yeah, that's right. Brought to you by Whataburger.
And the Game Day Men's Health Studio.
Let's start out with a wild one. This happened while we were away. Actually happened on July 4th. There was a shooting at an ICE detention facility in Johnson County. And this is starting to turn into like similar to when things were really going poorly in the relationship between the people and the police, where you started having like targeted attacks and things like that. Heck, it's why we can't have Luca Day on July 7th. But there was
I don't buy the thing about the doxing, and that's why they have to have masks either. I'm not buying it.
Okay. It came from the New York Times.
Slimes?
That rag?
Well, in Alvarado, a police officer was shot
Indians.
because people – it's a good pull.
Huh?
Alvarado Indians.
Oh, yeah.
You think they're champing at the bit to change their name to something a little more PC?
They have more of a chance of changing it to Redskins.
That's true. Yeah.
Than
so these
Eagles.
This was in Alvarado, and people showed up and kind of under the guise of a protest and started setting off fireworks, lured the officers outside, and a guy got shot. So they've made I think 10 arrests. This was like a targeted, law enforcement attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem cool.
No, it doesn't. But yeah, and I don't know. I don't want everybody to yell at me who's like as off the reservation lefty as I am, but not everybody who's doing that job is a bad person. And some of them are in super bad situations,
Oh, I'm sure.
Like maybe it does attract like a certain type of person, and more than an average line of work is full of assholes, but not everybody wants to be doing that.
It's like
get your job.
Prison guard, right? Same thing?
Yeah, that's not where you want to be either. In other news, the other day when I was gone, my dog got into some food in my cabinet. It was caffeinated protein. It was protein powder espresso.
Like he unscrewed it?
Ripped the whole thing open. And you may be wondering why I'm telling you this story.
Put it in a shaker
the blender,
bottle.
yeah.
Called Gronk.
Peels a
Got the ice
banana,
shaker.
throws a banana in there.
I'm telling you this story because we're just going to talk about some news from our lives.
Okay.
Because you guys may know I'm not a real newsman. I report on what the news reports on. So unless you'd like another check of the death toll, I'm going to tell you how this played out. I got home. You used to drink the Chike coffee, right, Blake? It's like protein espresso.
Mm-hmm.
My dog ate an entire bag, like a $50 bag of this. So that's probably the equivalent of 30 cups of coffee and
and your dog's already a maniac, clearly.
15 to 20 T-bone steaks. And it was nighttime. I'm like, man, this is going to go real bad. I'm going to wake up, and I'm going to have to pay $1,000 to have this house deep cleaned. I woke up, and it was clean. All good.
Because the dog cleaned it up? He was so wired?
I got the dog outside. It held it for me, and I could not, step in that fake turf back there for, 3 days. It was that bad.
Why'd you let it on the fake turf?
Where's it going to go?
Front yard?
Just going potty, you mean?
Yeah.
You let it go on the turf?
Yeah. I had to.
I thought it's better on the turf because then you could just pick it right up.
You think it is. You don't need to pick it up. You just need to wash it out.
Huh.
Your dog get into anything lately, Blake?
No.
Don't have any stories.
No. My dog can't open cabinets.
I don't want to talk about the situation that we find ourselves in here.
What?
In
the floods?
Central Texas, yeah.
Well, yeah, there's got to be more news than just that.
There's a little.
Oh, okay.
But what I'm telling you is there's not much. You know how I know? Because I watched all 4 local newscasts last night.
Oh, that's just what everybody's focusing on? Yeah. No, it's a big deal.
They put up their own tabs on the websites, Like I said.
I do think that, it's being on Twitter or social media is just a terrible place in general, I guess. But just the whole, this is because they may have, didn't vote for improvements to their warning system that would have helped, and this and that, and then you get people like, oh, you shouldn't make it political right away, and then because we would never do that, and then somebody else says, yeah, I remember the wildfires in California seemed to be pretty political right away, and then I remember, it's just back and forth. Yeah, it's like, and then I go talk to my wife who watches the Today Show, and she doesn't know any of this. She doesn't know about any of that dispute.
That's interesting. The Today Show is not treating this like or are they just getting this is sad?
Yeah, this is sad. Counts up over 100 now. But look, this one lady held on to the tree. And you're like, yeah. I think about the thought of if your kid was there, and like you said, we know a guy whose kid was there like a couple weeks ago, but then they had left the camp. And then they're using her little 6-year-old, standing by a tree picture on every newscast. Do you want that? Do you want everybody seeing
the spot you're stuck in is
like the cutest, blondest little kid is going to get that, I think, every newscast thing.
It's really tricky because if they're missing, you feel like you want it out there.
No, but what if they died?
Then yeah, probably. And do you have a choice? Could you go to the news and say that? Don't know it.
The kid isn't a public figure.
I will tell you one thing that I noted yesterday, last night on this, and I don't have an opinion one way or the other. It's way over my head, but I saw Dan Patrick on Fox News. Felt to me like he was taking shots at the governor, which is not something that I think a couple months ago we were seeing. Post-THC.
What was he yelling about?
The state should have done more. They're going to pay for this. They're going to pay for that. So you're fairly familiar with my neighborhood, right, Dan? Very old.
Yeah. Old houses.
Something that people do in this neighborhood.
This more neighborhood news?
Yeah, but this one's actually a news story.
All right. They
moved those old homes.
Yeah, no, we had one across the street from us. It's recent. That was, they might have moved it again, but it was like a century home or something. Which means
is that it's
100 years old.
Oh, well, I didn't think it was going to be that easy.
Yeah, that's what it is, I think. Unless I might be wrong, but I heard that a while back. It's a century home.
Okay.
Well, I just nodded. Yes, yes, I know what a century home is. Google it. No, but they had moved that there.
Where from?
From, well, I don't know where. Maybe Grapevine? Just something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, they just moved one into Grapevine that was built in 1888.
Remember they did this during COVID, and it was a huge news story.
I was there.
Yeah.
It was flying over my house. They did one during COVID, and they dropped it about 2 blocks from my house. They took it from the north side of the lake in Flower Mound, and they shut down the freeway. There was a chopper overhead. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen, dude. It was like a 4,000-foot square house, and they just put it on 121 and drove it down my street, and now it's just sitting there. It's not even functional. It's just there. It's really, really weird. But they did it again with this one even older, 1888. And it just moved in, like, right by the old railroad tracks, like the Cotton Belt Railroad down there. And I think William D. Tate actually lived in it at one point.
Is it for living in, or is it like a historical thing? Like a
historical.
Little museum.
Yeah.
So you get to go in it someday?
What a giant waste of time to move a structure. Like, think of the money. Think of the Whataburgers you could buy. To just say, I want this old house there, not there.
Don't you think people with enormous amounts of money waste enormous amounts of money?
Yeah, I mean, we just did a story about a guy who spent like $20 million on offensive linemen for his favorite football team. I don't think his dollar spends the same way yours does.
Yeah.
Which, interestingly enough, is why I like that story also. You know, they've got to overpay everybody. Do you think that guy gets heat from his wife, or is it just when you're that rich, your wife or husband, whatever, just doesn't ever?
You probably walk her to the curb, tell her to turn around.
Yeah, for sure not.
You know, because, like,
that guy's a king.
Don't you think that she's thinking, like, or his kids, for example. I think he's got a high school age kid, the tech guy. When he gets older, is he going to be like, are we going to chill out a little bit here? Like, I got the sense our private eye family kind of wishes Dad would have chilled out on the OJ thing a little earlier. Because it cost a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Right, and then they would have that money.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, you're trying to solve the case. We briefly talked about this the other day. I kind of wanted you to tell me a little more about your experience with Gordon Jago.
What do you mean?
So, I'm about to get into the youth soccer world.
Mm-hmm.
And Gordon Jago was a Premier League star. He was a coach over there. And he founded the Dallas Cup here in Dallas, youth soccer tournament.
Sidekicks coach?
Briefly, yeah.
Was he brought over here to do that?
And became good friends with Bob and became good friends with Bad Radio. And you guys developed a relationship with him. And it just feels like, you kind of brushed through yesterday like, oh, yeah, when I had Gordon Jago out to coach my 7-year-old girls soccer. Like, that's just I don't know. I feel like that's a really cool moment. Did he just say, okay, then it's no problem? Or is it?
Yeah, I mean, I had, Nancy Lieberman came out and ran one of our, 10-year-old girls practices as well. But it was very basic.
But still,
it was.
He's giving you his time.
Right. I think it was cooler for me and the parents than it was for the kids because he's just another old guy.
Right.
And she was just some other adult yelling at them. And he could be like, hey, she was on the Olympic team and all that, but they're like 10.
What age does that hit?
I don't know. But it wasn't that age.
Because, I mean, I can tell you when I saw, like, Rolando Blackman dribble a basketball when I was 11, I knew he was God.
But
like
you had watched Mavs games probably.
Good point.
And you'd seen him on there, so this is somebody I should be impressed with. They'd never met Gordon Jago. They're just playing soccer, half of them just to,
because their
parents made them, and they're killing time. They're really – I never coached at a very – I coached softball at a higher level.
Yeah.
Where kids understood what to do. But I never knew anything about soccer. We just got our ass kicked all the time. Other teams are passing it and weaving, and we're just like all in a group running to the ball. My girl was pretty good because we would just talk – outside of just practice and stuff. But practice, I was a glorified babysitter.
Yeah.
Where parents dropped off their kids, and I just tried to keep it organized and keep everybody moving and keep everybody busy. And Gordon Jago was cool to come and help out with some, giving us some drills and all that. And like I said, he was showing us one drill where he was like 70-some at the time. And he's dribbling back and forth with his foot and stepped on the ball and then fell. And he's like 6'3". And he was 75, and it took forever. It was the longest fall you've ever seen. And,
is that when the Roast Twins were born?
It's
like, you old.
Yeah, they're all laughing. No, but I feared he broke his hip because that's what old people do, and it might lead to complications in surgery and then his death. And then I wouldn't be the the lead in that story. That'd be unfortunate to me.
Yeah.
I want to be the lead in a death story.
I got a drug story for you as roughly $20 million worth of blow was found by the Coast Guard outside of Galveston over the weekend.
Okay, I do like to picture sometimes you are the news
news?
anchor on Fox 4.
Yeah.
And delivering it with that tone and $20 million worth of blow.
Yeah.
And then Heather Hayes looks at you and is like, did you just say?
Dude, no. You know what this made me think of,
the
though?
teleprompter says cocaine.
I think there's probably a great documentary out there about this, and I would welcome your suggestions. My daughter asked me the other day, I can't remember, we saw something where there was like a pirate ship. It might have been an NRH-2O. And she was like, is that a real pirate ship? And I said, well, it's a ride, and that's what pirate ships used to look like. She said, well, what do they look like now? We don't have pirates. I said, no, we definitely have pirates. They're awesome. But they don't have those kind of pirate ships anymore. And for a while, when the Houthis were like really popping, I was getting a video a week of them taking a ship somewhere in the ocean with a GoPro. And I think we need more of that. Not more piracy, but more content made from piracy.
So you're saying we have pirates now?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's what Kristen talks to me or knows about this stuff. It pops up. There's parts of the world where you just can't ship stuff. It'll get stolen immediately. And crew taken hostage.
Really?
Yeah, there's like ghettos of the world when it comes to where you want to ship things and how you want to, go about it, where it'll get stolen.
Doesn't seem honorable.
Well, no, but it's no different than land. It's just that for some reason in the ocean we're like, obey, water.
So it's just being a thief, but you got a boat.
Basically, and maybe a little crew, I would think.
Do you got the eye patch and stuff?
No, I don't know that they still have to do like wooden legs and the like. That'd be quaint if somebody
Do you
brought
think
it back.
they had to do it? Like it was mandatory to be a pirate? Or just is that part of the game? Like, you might lose your leg if you're a pirate.
There had to be better options, too. Why didn't they even think to put a foot on it? Why is it just a stump?
What about the parrot?
What about it?
Doesn't a pirate always have a parrot, too? Why?
I assume that they're native to the climate that they're often finding themselves in.
Mm-hmm. And they're just like, you know what? I don't need this cat.
Dude, that's one of those things right now where not a single pirate ever had a parrot on its shoulder talking. That's never happened.
So you're saying if
It's
there
what?
are pirates in heaven looking down at our depiction of old-timey pirates, they're like, this is bullshit.
And they're like, why is
it's like
Jesus,
when you
why
watch
is Jesus
Frasier
white?
and you're like, that's not how radio works.
All right, there's your news.
What?
No, that's a good
The
off-ramp.
Dumb Zone News. Like and subscribe.
180 trays, boys.
In the golden age of piracy, pirates also had pet monkeys.
That would make a lot more sense. Kind of like
monkeys?
that would make a lot more sense. Like what's his name on Gemstones? You got stuff they need to do for you. The monkey can help you. Dr. Watson with BJ can help you pirate.
Man, BJ loved him.
BJ's like a top 10 character all time for me, I think, in TV. If I widen it out to 10, that's not crazy.
Joining us now is TC. Is going to join us for Today in History. Oops. I meant to hit that one. Damn it. Want to grab the mic, TC? I don't know. You're just sitting around. Oh, is that a bad idea?
Nope.
Using this mic?
Nope.
Got an important job to do.
Okay. But do you not want to join us?
Twist my arm.
All right. So we start with some viewer mail birthdays, and I might have a couple that have trickled in during the program. So let me now check those. See
What
if
a day. I'm still kind of...
Is it still the best
yeah, this is really cool.
day in your life? Okay. Missed this one yesterday, and I'm going to blame Blake because he forwarded it to me during the show.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, DZ boys. I write to you with intentionality, as I just finished up a free throw contest with my 2-year-old son for a team-building exercise. My name is Colby, and is it my birthday today? Yes, it is. How old am I? 32. Other questions I will unironically ask myself, and the answer would include, am I a day one DF? Who might my leaders be? I'm day one, number 427. My leaders are Blake's softball MVP season, Jake's chirping on the football field, the Dumb Zone's ability to close out a venue or program, like the Shacks at Austin Ranch or the Freak.
Be careful in here.
I also say that I'm writing this to you with a shoddy in hand. Looking forward to the inevitable shoddy and dude perfect collab. There's no doubt. Right?
He's got to win first.
I'm paying for that.
No
remote.
one says no.
Colby Connor.
Colby Connor?
That's the guy who emailed.
Yeah, that's tough. It's very dude perfect. Yeah. I bet they're at camp. I bet they filmed something out there with him at camp.
Do they ever leave there? Oh, yeah, they do. They went, like, to Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
They're shooting basketballs off it.
My guess is they have a house in Southern California. It's
Yeah,
home base.
would content creators be willing to go to L.A.? I don't know.
Hang out with the Cowboys?
Hi, Dan. Today is my Nolan Ryan birthday. Quick shout-out to Brendan at Qualis Roofing for great support for some contracting things done at my home. My leaders are Jake's sobriety from books, Blake doing the least run-the-ball guy thing ever, Angelo, and Dan's Wordle streak. He then gave me a bunch of little links of different games.
Oh, yeah,
like
you love games,
trivia
man. That's good of him.
and this stuff. He said also one is called costcoddle.com. Guess the price of an item from Costco.
Are people that bored?
Which feels like Supermarket Sweep.
Yeah, which was great. Guy Fieri's version is dope, too. It's a little different, but you have to cook, but I like it.
He puts a fun spin on it.
It is a fun spin.
Then he writes, more TC. Hit for the cycle from Aaron.
Objective achieved.
Dear Uncle Cheek Clapper, please wish my wife Laura happy 32nd birthday. Her leaders are Angelo Sugar Daddy, Foodie CK, that is Clayton, and Hot Spice. She would like to hear prepubescent Blake say musculoskeletal care.
Right.
Keep clapping them cheeks, Playboy, from Hunter and Duncanville. Was that in your live spot?
Yeah, my Argyle ads.
What was this?
I'd nailed the first 20 seconds, and I was not going to do another take because I did not know that you could just read line by line back then.
Did Blake?
I don't know if I've ever heard this.
Did Jake not? Was he not here during that?
Yeah, he was away.
He was not. You replayed some of them, but I guess maybe not all.
No, we did. I was trying to buy him time.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Poorly telegraphed.
Yeah, I can't.
Well, because we started talking about it, Dan's hand didn't move for like 13 seconds. So I'm like, all right, well.
Just to make sure, though, let's just replay all of them.
Well, I can't find it.
Oh, too
Blake
bad.
probably could.
Could.
Dear Wrangler of the Roast Beef, it is my 33rd birthday. Oh, the 33rd birthday of my dummy husband, Dummy Grant in Austin.
Dummy Grant.
We met him, right?
I think so.
Of course.
Yeah.
I did not wake him up in that special way, but a Van Taylor could be in his future.
Damn,
Nice.
son. That's a great callback.
Congrats.
His
That is
leaders-
the only time I've ever heard someone use the term tonsils sexually.
Let's see.
When I learned my wife doesn't have any.
Yeah.
His leaders are Soroy's au pair, Bargain Blake, and Hope Solo's partnership with Arby's.
Not an official partnership.
Official name.
Just the
image,
right amount
likeness.
of Ryan Medellin. Love. Your favorite Icelandic dummy, Asta, which is pasta without the P. Pick attached. They might not be Sarah Hepala milk sheds, but I think you'll still enjoy.
Okay.
What a great email.
That is.
Did you print that out?
I'm a fan of Asta in Iceland.
I did not print out the photo, but
Why?
Airdrop me.
Yeah.
I think that it's not family friendly. She did not just send them behind a wall.
Since
That makes me
1976,
more.
Sweater wall.
Orthopedic
Yeah.
Associates has provided all-inclusive orthopedic services and expertise to Flower Mound in Louisville. With 8 board-certified physicians in orthopedic specialties, Orthopedic Associates offers a full spectrum of musculoskeletal care, along with in-house physical therapy and state-of-the-art technology, including our digital imaging and open MRI, and an on-site surgical center for more patient convenience.
How about that?
All this.
Never have I heard the full throated backing of American medical innovation and care. It's just the system really that we all hold up.
Did you
voiced by
practice
that
saying
man.
musculoskeletal like 100 times?
I did.
Yeah. I thought you did it great.
Wait, I think I have another flub in here.
In one facility, along with on-call availability,
Yep.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Oh,
and
that
enables
son of a
continuity
bee that is
care.
availability.
24 hours a
Continuity?
day, 7 days a week, enables continuity of care close to home.
You suck.
And you're like, yeah, I'll air this one.
Nailed it.
This is the one I'm going to air.
Nailed it.
And salutations, Mr. Fish Fister. Today is my Dirk birthday. About a year ago, you may remember me and my buddy Tuxedo John had a sit-in in the den.
Legend.
What you may not know is less than a month later, Tuxedo John and I were staying at a VRBO to celebrate another buddy's 40th birthday. In the middle of the night, we awoke to discover the entire house is ablaze. Less than an hour later, it and the 2 houses on either side would be nothing but ashes. John and I were both faced with an opportunity to be the sole survivors of this tragedy, but unfortunately, all 8 occupants survived, effectively robbing us of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Dan is my leader.
I like that.
More mustachioed Blake, more Sarah Heppola, more Danny, no Tux Chad.
Like, everyone doesn't want their house to burn down, but if you could be part of a house burning, it's a fun story. You can tell radio hosts later.
Yeah. And you're not dealing with the insurance
An
company.
Airbnb burning down sounds like the sweet spot.
Could be a nice bachelor party. See how the boys react, you know? Yeah, that's
You don't have to clean up
at all.
You know, take all the garbage out and stuff.
You don't feel bad about
Now,
calling the fire department?
What would be interesting is if you and a friend, you specifically, were in this situation, and you both have that fantasy and you're the last 2 left. Are you willing to do a little Russian roulette to see who gets to come out on top, or are we splitting the baby?
Well, I would just see how good of a friend he was, and would he let me have it? Because
King
I'm
Solomon.
not that good of a friend.
The only Bible story I know.
Otherwise, so now we go to today in history, and on this day, Tuesday, July 8th, on this day, in 1889, it was the last bare-knuckle boxing championship fight. Jake Kilrain and John L. Sullivan
Bring that beat back.
won the heavyweight. John L. Sullivan won the heavyweight title by knockout in round
82.
30.
75.
Oh, my God.
They went 75 rounds when men were men. On this day in 1911, someone named Nan Aspinwall, they call her, she's a cowgirl. She became the first woman to make a solo trip by horse across the United States. She arrived in New York 10 months after departing San Francisco. And then she went back, and that was called the reverse cowgirl. On this day in 1947, a New Mexico newspaper quoted officials at Roswell Army Airfield saying they had recovered a flying saucer that crashed
Let's
on their
go.
lands.
You been, Dan?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a big part of my year growing up.
My daughter, by mistake, saw the operation scene from Independence Day.
Oh, no.
It's been a disaster.
Good God, dude. I remember that being a questionable moment. And then, I don't know that if it was ID4 related, but Disney World built a ride, Dan. And I went there with my family. I think it was Independence Day. And it was like this. So it's an attraction, not a roller coaster. You're in this, like, theater, and they have seating. Maybe 20 people in there. And in the middle of it, they're operating on the alien. It was ID4, which is a crazy, scary scene. And there's doctors down there, but then something goes wrong. And when it goes wrong, the lights go out. And there's, like, mist and air going everywhere. And you can hear the thing moving. You're like, oh, God, it's in here. And then as it moves around, you can feel breath, like, on the back of your neck. And my mom, like, got as close to a heart attack as you could get, and I had nightmares for like months, dude. I was weeping, crying, screaming.
Yeah.
At like 11. Bad
You were
luck.
going to die.
Dude, I could feel it breathing on me. Too much.
On this day in 2003, 29-year-old Iranian twins named Layden and Layla, they were joined at the head. And a yay boo as they had an operation to separate them and then died shortly following the surgery in Singapore.
You
And
miss
reading
100% of the shots you don't take.
Reading about them, number one.
Don't, you son of a bitch.
Look.
Don't.
They're good looking.
I'm not doing this,
Dude.
Not now.
They're nice looking Iranian ladies.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of the Persian look. Yeah, well, I am. Just these women's heads are conjoined, and that's not.
It's not like they want you to call them ugly.
Right.
They want to hear that they're nice-looking ladies.
What a story they have. So, in 1979, they were lost in a hospital after the doctors that were responsible for them had to suddenly leave for the United States during the Iranian Revolution. The parents didn't find the twins again until several years later.
What?
What?
How'd they know it was them?
Oh, you know what? Never mind. It wasn't you guys. False alarm.
They ended up going to college. Layden wanted to be a lawyer. Layla wanted to be a journalist. In the end, they settled on Layden's choice. They became lawyers. Studying law for 4 years at Tehran University.
Why'd you say that like it's a swing man in the NBA? Tehran.
Other personal decisions had to meet each other's approval.
Sure.
So,
there's got to be a documentary here.
It says here, for this and other reasons, the twins had wanted to be separated since they were children. So, in 1996, they traveled to Germany, but German doctors declined to operate, saying the risk of separation surgery would be too high for both of them.
Let me tell you something. When your German doctor says, I'm not going to do this creepy, off-the-books, weird.
Yeah. So they ended up going to Singapore.
Not better.
They found a doctor who would attempt it.
Dr. Nick.
And then, yeah.
That's a horrible story, but
work out well.
There's some beauty in there.
Oh, there's beauty.
They got the...
On this day in the year 2010, LeBron James made the decision on an ESPN primetime special.
The absolute peak of Jake's fashion history when LeBron James strode to the stage wearing the exact same shoes that Jake was wearing at that second.
Yeah. And they were not easy to get either. There was a place over on McKinney.
Were you excited?
The owner. Dude, I couldn't shut up. They were only like $100 shoes. They weren't anything crazy, but.
That's LeBron, man of the people.
Yeah. You're sitting here at the boys' club, Boys and Girls Club.
On this day in 2018, divers rescued 4 of the 12 boys who had been trapped in a flooded cave in northern Thailand with their soccer coach for more than 2 weeks.
Dude.
This is one of the best stories.
You ever seen the van, Dan? Wait, no, that's a different one.
The van? Yeah, no, that's a totally different. That is youth soccer recruit related.
Okay, that was the youth soccer for Trump guy.
Yeah,
this is
the
the one where
that,
Elon
did a terrorism, drove around a white van that said youth soccer recruits for Trump.
Yeah.
And just had a picture of like little kids playing soccer.
No, but this is the one where Elon, for no reason, called a guy who built a little thing to go try to fix the kids a pedophile.
Elon tried to insert himself by saying he could save the kid, like Tesla's going to design a special sub. There's just a guy who already lives there. It's like, I know how to dive. I can just go get him. And Elon's like, why are you there? You doing sex tourism in Thailand, man? And then he sued him, and that guy lost everything. Courts said that Elon was allowed to call him a pedophile.
And on this day in 2019, billionaire Jeffrey Epstein, or financier. I don't know if he was
the
a billionaire.
financier?
That's what it says here. He was charged with sexually abusing dozens of underage girls. more than a decade after he secretly had cut a deal with federal prosecutors to dispose of nearly identical allegations. A month later, he would be found unresponsive in his jail cell. The medical examiner ruled his death a suicide. So, and then it turns out there was nothing to all of this, right?
Yeah. Look, I mean, there probably is. I liked this. This morning, all the accounts are just like, let's just move on. Oh, you mean the thing you spent like the last 10 years saying you're definitely sure that this guy was raping children and you're elected the people that you thought would get that information out?
But yeah, the seesaw from I'm sure that Hillary Clinton killed him to actually he killed himself.
It's fast. Is it? So, yeah, there was a lot of yelling about this thing, and they're putting people in charge now that would.
Oh, this wrapped up this week.
It's over, though.
Yeah. Well, it's over for now. Like I said, I think it'll be just like the new JFK where we get a.
But all these people were saying, once we're in charge, you'll know.
And now we do. Nothing happened.
Oh, okay. Good. My bad. In other birthdays today, celebrity birthdays, former Rangers sound provider Groobs is 40 today.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Former 18-year-old ticket intern.
Shouts out to him.
Right?
I'm going to talk to Groovy in a minute.
Groobs is 40. Marshawn Nealand is 24.
Speeding. No, same ways.
Stop doing that.
That one was for you.
Wang Zhuzhu is 48. The one Mavs jersey I own.
Could Groobs take him off the dribble?
Former Dallas star Rich Peverly is 43.
Died.
Yep.
But then came back.
He did. How long was Wang here?
A day?
A year?
Well, here, yeah, I just meant the States. Because I don't remember him going on to have, but apparently he was here for 5 years maybe, and then went back to China and played for another decade.
What is Wang doing?
What is Wang doing?
Jack Lambert is 73. Who's that?
Steeler linebacker.
Oh. How did he know that?
Well, I think it comes in the run the ball primer. Like,
Yeah, he loves
just
ball.
jack off to this guy. Oh,
You
sorry, I
sh-
shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry.
You
We're
should know who
Whataburger.
Jack Lambert is. Yeah.
I definitely played as the 72 Steelers on Madden at some point.
Definitely.
Wolfgang Puck is 76.
Food.
Actor Kevin Bacon is 67.
All right.
You guys familiar with the Kevin Bacon game, Bacon Bits?
Let's do it. I feel like we've played it before.
Are you familiar? Like, so it's
Connect Kevin Bacon to another actor or actress?
Yeah, it's like 6 degrees of separation, but
Yes.
just so name any actor.
Jennifer Aniston.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You can't Google it.
No, you
Oh,
type
you're
it into
typing
the
it
thing.
in?
Yeah,
Right.
and it shows you your.
No, I have the Oracle of Bacon, or it's just called oracleofbacon.org. And you search Jennifer Aniston. She was in the movie Picture Perfect with Kevin Bacon.
Oh, wow.
They're in the same movie.
That was an easy one.
Yeah.
What if we do this, Jake? Who's your mom love?
John Wayne.
John Wayne. Let's see here. John Wayne was in the movie True Grit.
Yes, he was.
With Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall was in a movie called Jane Mansfield's Car with Kevin Bacon.
Dude, we could do this all day, baby.
2 degrees, baby. 2 degrees. Let's do one more.
Howard Taft.
Give me like a
Danny
silent
Masterson.
film, like Charlie Chaplin, right?
Charlie Chaplin. He's got to, right?
He's got to be able to do this?
Charlie Chaplin is in a lot of movies.
He was in a movie with somebody called Tippi Hedren.
Of course.
Yeah, she's the one who got Asians doing nails.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
For real.
Yeah.
Guess what movie she was in? Jane Mansfield's Car.
Jim
Kevin
Varney.
Bacon.
Jim
That's
Varney.
kind of a dark title for a
Ooh,
film.
Jim Varney is a good one. Hold on. That's right. Tune in 3 hours later. You're like, Shane Gillis. Jim Varney was in a movie called The Expert. with a person named Wolfgang Bodison, who was in A Few Good Men with Kevin Bacon.
There you go.
We can't get past 2. Incredible.
Yeah, it's really something.
Beck is 55.
That's genius.
I believe he has left the Church of Scientology now.
Oh.
Jaden Smith is 27.
That seems crazy.
Notre Dame.
Wait.
What?
It's a Jalen Smith joke.
No, but who's there? Did you see the viral post this weekend, Dan, of the Irish receivers room?
No.
It's Jerome Bettis' son, Larry Fitzgerald's son.
Plaxico Burress, Jermichael Finley.
Their 4 sons.
We're collecting some sons.
Like 4 of the most crazy athletic NFL receivers. Turns out they procreate. And they don't make me.
Maya Hawke is 27. Yep, you know her. Ethan Hawke's kid from, you know her from Stranger Things, though. She worked in the ice cream shop.
God, Ethan Hawke would have a kid in Stranger Things.
Janice Pennington is 82. She was one of the original Barker's Beauties on The Price is Right. Might have been in Playboy. Look it up. And then
she could have played in this era.
We have our birthday of the day, the Dumb Zone birthday of the day. Runner-up, Blake, is Billy Crudup.
The morning show.
He's 57. Yes, from the morning show. And just reading this morning, actually, that Jennifer Aniston, it says here in this this article, Jennifer Aniston teases the morning show season 4 with 2 words fans can't ignore.
I'm gay.
What are they?
Aniston had plenty to say about the hit series that also features Reese Witherspoon, Billy Crudup, Mark Duplass, and John Hamm. She gave the perfect 2-word teaser for. She gave the perfect 2-word teaser for season 4 in the process. Quote, really suspenseful.
What? That's what she came up with? This woman of the arts? Really suspenseful.
The morning show is just a beast to film. It's layered, it's complicated, it's emotional. It hits a lot of topics and current events. So let's just say it's not Friends.
Ooh,
you're trying to move on from Rachel Green, aren't you?
She'll go there.
What? Why is John Hamm still in the show?
Although the season 1 critic ratings on Rotten Tomatoes were less than ideal at 61%, they've improved over each subsequent season. Season 3 of the morning show got its highest rating from critics, labeled, quote, certified fresh by the site, and earned a 75% rating. Very excited.
Yeah. When's it coming back?
About season 4.
When you guys?
What's better, that or The Boys coming back? Like, what a year. This is the year. Let's back to the year, Dan.
Okay.
All right, before our birthday of the day, the Dumb Zone birthday of the day, Billy Crudup was only the runner-up. We do have our Henry birthday of the day, and Henry is our intern and trying to bring something fresh and hip and now to this segment.
He's on a hot streak.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
Yeah, now after we introduce you is when you start talking.
Yeah, I figured. Okay, well, let's see if we can stay on a hot streak here. My birthday today is Ariel Helwani, who covers the UFC for ESPN.
I think for people his age, that is a big deal. Do you know who he is, right? No. Okay. Blake definitely does. I thought maybe.
Will he be at the White House 1 year from today?
Yeah.
In fact, I'm positive he's interviewed Trump.
Okay.
Yeah, he definitely is.
He's the guy.
Does he know Rogan?
Yeah, he used to be. Yeah, that's a big one.
He's been like pretty controversial the way he interviews. Like you gotta, if you're interviewing UFC guys, there's kind of like a line that you gotta toe, and he's been one of those guys where the UFC
like what
dudes get mad at him.
All right, what we're doing right now is very rude. just bail him out and let him go.
Oh, okay.
What?
Our birthday of the day.
It's a good birthday.
Thanks, Henry.
Thank you, Henry. But our Dumb Zone birthday of the day, remember, Billy Crudup was the runner-up. How could you be the runner-up? And if you're on the morning show, you're like one of the main. Jeffrey Tambor is 81.
It was Henry. It was fine. It's fine.
From Arrested Development, the Larry
he get
Sanders
in
Show.
Trouble
Might have a Kemp spin
towards the
I
end.
thought so.
Or
It
is
was
there-
a very edge case.
like he was just
Kemp.
mean.
He got fired, but it was for being.
He was in the Me Too era, but he was just kind of an a-hole. Maybe a little.
I think in hindsight, we probably
touchy.
needed like an age cutoff. Like
2 years on either side, and he doesn't get fired.
Yeah.
You do something bad at that moment.
Kim Spin says sexual harassment on set.
Yeah, but that could have been like, you're ugly.
Look.
You're hot.
Blake, if you want to talk to an employment lawyer, I think you could get these guys any day of the week.
So you're not wearing that shirt to highlight how good they look, and I'm telling you how good they look, and I'm the bad guy.
Tom Brady comes over.
Yeah, Tom Brady says the same thing.
Gordon and Corby.
Born on this day, now dead. We have John David Crow. Was an Aggie, right?
Yeah. Heisman?
Yeah. And a Browns coach at one point. Pretty exciting. Rune Arledge invented Monday Night Football. Ellis Alfred Swearingen, who ran the notorious brothel called the Gem Theater in Deadwood, South Dakota for 22 years.
That's a long time to run a brothel.
Toby Keith.
R.I.P. Yes.
Do you think he was still running promos saying the all-new Jim like Kiss FM? TC and I were always very obsessed with. As a kid, you'd hear the Kiss FM commercials with your mom, and you're like, "Did they change anything? It's new every week. The all-new."
We should do that for us.
What did I miss? And then I realized that's the thing.
The dumb
I
zone.
kept
All
listening.
new. Yeah.
What did I miss?
And then Hugo Boss, the fashion designer.
Uh-oh.
When looking him up, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know anything about Hugo Boss.
How did you not know?
I just looked him up this morning and okay, when was he? Because I like to put the dates they were alive here.
It's not a
Does
good
he
range
believe
for him.
does he believe in respecting agency based on ethnicity and religion? And
Well, first of all, he's from Germany.
Not a hot start.
And he was in the 30s making his name.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought, here's a political party that really could use some snappy outfits.
That's a big client. It's a big get.
That is a huge get.
Right. So if you were a Hitler
close
youth
the
or
Hitler account.
Yeah.
And as many have pointed out, if you're just looking from a purely aesthetic point of view,
they do look
he
impressive.
did some really stylish work.
Yeah.
Down to a science.
Died on this day, still dead. You have Pete Conrad. Anyone here, raise your hand if you know who Pete Conrad is. Incredible.
Did he walk on the moon?
He's the third man to walk. Not even
third. Not even these guys.
Right after Buzz.
The
next one.
Educated adults in this room who would have been like, of course I know the third man who walked on
There's
stage.
only been
Not even
10, and he's the third. And, you know the first two, and then we're like, whatever.
It might as well be a journeyman utility guy for the Rangers in the 80s.
Do you know all 10, or it's just MLB managers?
MLB managers of last year.
That'd be a good one. Know all 10? It's just 10.
Yeah, it might be 12, but the point is it's not a lot.
Yeah.
No ladies.
Wow.
Have ever walked on the moon.
We've established that would completely wreck the world's climate.
They sent a dog and a chimp up first.
Yeah.
Before they let a woman.
Okay. Also dead on this day, still dead. Ken Stabler.
Davey.
Yeah.
Davey's father-in-law. Mm-hmm. Rosie Ruiz. Hard name to say. She cheated to win the Boston Marathon.
Legend.
Yeah, took a
Congrats.
taxi.
And Tony Sirico, who played Paulie Walnuts on The Sopranos.
What a life.
And that was Today in History.
So, we wrap things up here at Whataburger. Should we pop on Jasmine to see how we're feeling about
Travis,
everything?
George, whoever.
Yeah.
Whoever.
Let's bring Jasmine over here.
I'm feeling like it's burger time for me.
Jasmine getting a...
Thank you very much.
Hey, Blake, what's your thought on
Give
this?
me my respect.
What if I order on the app and just walk up there and grab it so I can get my points?
Definitely do that.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm about to let them know something.
Well, because you're about to throw some exotic cheeses on there that they might not know about.
They're going to.
And also, it's the day of summer savings at Whataburger. Today, buy a shake, get one free.
This guy.
Jasmine is part of the huge sales force.
Massive.
That will answer your emails at sales@dumbzone.com.
I was actually conducting business outside. I don't know if you saw me walking back and forth with my earbuds in.
Pretending.
Someone called me a boss biatch.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's a compliment, right?
Do you feel like
Totally.
that fits? Yeah.
More the latter than the boss.
But Jasmine was in on the early conversations and the developing the idea of the car tray, which really, I don't know, we didn't develop an idea, right? It was just like, hey, what do you want to do, Jake? And you're like, how about a car tray? And they were like, okay.
No, you revolutionized it.
Yep.
According to, I'm not even joking, according to their team.
Yeah, there was some talk of that, how well these were going over with the team. So now that our lawyer's gone, it does appear to me like there's a chance Whataburger is just going to make these at some point, and I hope that they do, and I hope that they're awesome. So
it'd be your legacy.
It would be my legacy.
You'd be the guy that invented the chicken nugget in the basement.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
The idea, though.
That's absolutely fine.
But yeah,
this has been more than a lot of fun.
Maybe
I can't believe 180 people showed up here.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I swear.
You know how the DFs are.
I continue to be blown away.
Well, maybe we'll do it again sometime.
Maybe.
But
you think they'll do a quad meet?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
QP me?
Clayton says yes.
I think so. I think so. At this point, you guys could actually ask for anything and get it.
The exclusive. Ooh.
What, a guy still here?
All right. Well, thanks, Jasmine. Thanks, Whataburger.
Thank you guys so much.
Everybody,
it was
for
a lot
coming
of fun.
on out.
Yay. Good times.
Yeah.
Adios, mofo.
Gotta go before this becomes a zoo.
Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe and type for my name if you want to watch more of my videos.
If you like a burger that's real well dressed, we put ours in its Sunday best. Whataburger, Whataburger, just what a burger should be. The unbeatable, unbelievable, bigger, better burger, Whataburger.
It's not